You are watching the Castoffs on Happy Jacks RPG. You can find previous episodes if you go over to happyjacks.org/shows or Castoffs. And this is episode 8. So you've barely missed anything at all. If you're just showing up for the first time, you'll totally get what's going on. I have a recap for us in a minute, but speaking of what's going on, Joe?
Hi, I'm Joe. What's going on is I've taken up a new job. I'm a different man since we started this game, since we last saw each other. I forgot how to do Wall's voice, so this is gonna be a coming back in many ways. So bear with us.
What was Wall's favorite childhood game?
Wall's favorite childhood game was Approval.
Oh, how dare you!
I mean,
Courtney?
same, but hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm so happy to be back here. It's been so long. It's been so long, and I've really missed all of you and playing this game. So I'm super excited to be back. And things are looking up for me, which is really nice because it's been a rough year. So I like things looking better. And I play third. And to channel third, I just imagine like Tom Hiddleston meets Matt Smith and be really awkward about it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of find the voice, and it just happens. Yeah, so that's me.
And what was third's favorite childhood game?
Probably like Two Truths and a Lie, because he'd be better at that than anything physical with his siblings, I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hello, I'm Pooja, and I'm playing Lucky Joshi, literal cat person, and, sometimes assassin, sometimes just, ghost whisperer in the Hallmark or whatever shows.
Very literal sense.
Yeah.
Favorite childhood game?
Oh, pin the knife on the bullseye.
Yep. Sure. The one that all kids know.
I mean, it's just traditional, right?
Now,
I actually played that myself.
Is that being blindfolded and stabbing it in with your hand, or is it a knife throwing event for children?
I feel like it's a blindfolded knife throwing event.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But for children specifically.
Yes.
Children's blindfolded knife throwing.
You spin them around, get them nice and
Oh,
busy,
God.
and then point them in the direction of the target.
Yeah.
Watch everyone scatter.
Yeah.
And then you have to
It
determine
teaches
what
you
you
really valuable life skills.
Yeah.
Like dodge skills.
listening.
If you can dodge a knife.
Nick?
Hey everyone, I am looking at my camera. My name is Nick, and I am playing Sal, also called Salamander. Salamander is the ship that we are on, and Sal is the animated figurehead that can detach from the ship and is 8 feet tall and made of wood. Sal is also only about 4 years old, so when you say what is Sal's favorite childhood game, I think what popped into my mind was I Spy. But there was an awful lot of ocean.
Yeah. I spy something blue.
Ocean, sky,
One of those.
water, fish.
Okay, cool. So last time, just briefly, we had a run-in where Sal met the Rise ship that was parked across the dock. The avatar of that ship was called Ash, and she was very sassy with Sal, and was not interested in what Sal had to say at all, really, and kind of took him for a ride.
I would say mercenary more than sassy.
Yes, yeah, mercenary.
Yeah, I wasn't important enough to give sass to, but I was important enough to take advantage of.
She felt sassy.
The episode 7 was also our shopping episode. The cat, the werecat or werehuman, Portina, is discovering clothes and is needed to get off the ship and do some shopping. We were also shopping for silver knives. It didn't work out. They in fact found the last vendor of silver knives who had just sold their last silver knife as they walked up to the cart, and we'd never have to sell silver knives again.
Weren't they like so happy that they finally got rid of the backlog of
Yes.
silver knives that they had?
It was so many.
Yeah.
They said it would be an investment, but just sell 10 and get your friends to sell 10, and it just never worked out that way.
You're not selling the knife, you're selling a system.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a self-empowerment and profit system.
It's Lula Blade.
Yeah.
It's a way of life.
Our bard also, Third O, had a great experience having been hired to perform at Last Call on 10th. Performance went like gangbusters, very well received. A lot of fans are chanting the name Third O around town. And but also during that performance, it's worth noting that Third was gifted a leaf blade by an actual pixie of the Fae.
Glitterhorn.
Mrs. Glitterhorn. And the blade seems to have been making just innocuous suggestions about Third's life and what he might want to do in his spare time. To that end, when Third got back to the suite that is reserved for him at the Giant's Compass, which is separate from this restaurant, Third was attacked by an unseen assailant. So, now, refresh my memory. Our setup for that was Third went to the room alone.
Yes, because Lucky was downstairs at the gambling stuff.
Sure. Okay.
But there's one other detail that you need to add on a recap at the very end.
Oh, right. Our ship was being dragged out to sea and pulled with such force that the ropes that have tied it to the dock are pulling that metal cleat out of the dock.
I don't remember that. I don't think you're right there. I don't think that's happening.
You reminded me of the word cleat.
That doesn't sound like me.
Okay, are you trolling now, or do you
Yes.
genuinely not remember?
Absolutely wrong.
Okay.
I mean, at this point in, 2022, I literally blacked out doing an entire reset yesterday.
Yeah,
Like,
and I wouldn't mind if people. It's just I've watched the video like 3 times this week.
No,
so,
we also talked about it before the show.
Yeah.
But
I mean, who knows?
So we know Sal and Portina and Wall, I think, we're all headed back to the ship. And as you get close enough to it, you saw that the ship was kind of like bobbing in a way that's different. And just to, like, ships that big don't just sort of bob in the water, it's not like a little toy boat. So it was moving in a very strange way compared to all the ships around it. And then that straining and creaking, the groaning of the beams of the dock are really what got your attention as the ship is being, there's force being applied. And I think you ran onto the ship to try to get a better idea of what was happening. We couldn't see exactly what was behind the ship, but tentacles whipped out of the night. And as Doc came up onto the deck to investigate with you and see what the hell was happening to the ship, Doc was snatched away into the night. Now, good news, bad news, Doc can breathe underwater. Bad news, she also can be crushed under the force of tentacles as big around as a person. So,
Can attest, even small tentacles hurt.
Yes, indeed. So, there is some urgency there, but we also needed to establish a flashback scene.
Yes.
Courtney?
Yes. Because Pooja wasn't here last week, I wanted to do us when we get to see the suite for the first time.
Before your
After-
performance.
No, was this before or after? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
I think it was after. Wasn't
Thought
it?
it was
Well,
after,
I
but
thought
we
you were
just
going to
wanted-
settle
No,
into
you
the
know what?
suite.
We didn't have time to go back to the giant. You know what? It's not that important.
Well,
It's a full-
okay.
I don't think it's that important.
Well,
When we
after
drop
the
our
per-
stuff in the
After the
suite.
performance, you get attacked.
Yeah.
So maybe before the performance, you dropped some stuff off, went to do the performance,
Sure.
came back.
That's fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna head up to the suite and unlock it. So what does it look like? do we have in there?
Oh gosh, I should have been
This
thinking
was-
about that.
This was Danny's suite that he won for being a high
Right, the
roller.
high
So
roller
I
suite.
thought it'd be kind of nice.
And we had established that it had enough rooms, sort of, for everyone. So it's basically like a big apartment, right? It is all, the building is, like all the buildings, it's all like built out from the cliff. But this particular one, it's the full width of the building. Like in the back half, there's like a stone, like hewn floor, and the wall, the like stone wall of the cliff, and it's they've worked some like cool designs into that. Some awesome stone worker did a lot with that. That's like where the bar and kind of the kitchen is for this place.
Can we say that there are like runes etched into the floor that if you tap the one on the corner, it heats the floor?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah,
I just picture you there just being like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
just touching all
There's
the
like
rooms.
the humidifier rune, the dehumidifier rune, yeah, all
It
of that
makes such
stuff.
nice little ping sounds that you just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Have you seen the videos of the cats who also have learned to
Yeah.
talk? The little
Yes,
talk.
Oh,
that's
the
what I
little
picture.
dog buttons that
Yeah,
cats
but
are
yeah,
using
cats
it
will
too.
do it too.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to know what cats
Yeah.
have to say.
Mostly
Death,
Yeah.
death, human, death, death, human, death.
food.
Human food.
Mostly food. Yeah.
So it is definitely the kind of space where it's designed to be an entertaining space, where like there is kind of a well, let's just use like that 1970s kind of drop round.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
about to say conversation pit.
Yeah, conversation pit.
Pit.
With like a big kind of bay window that looks out over the town, and the Giant's Compass is on the ground floor, so this is on the second floor of the whole cliff, right? So it's just high enough up that you have a great view of the marketplace and everything, but it's not so high up that if you were uncomfortable with heights, it would be a thing. So you have a great view of the marketplace. There's a rune to tint the windows in case you
Love
want to
it.
sleep in, but there are no like curtains or anything.
Okay.
And then there are 4 doors. There are. It turns out to be 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, and and there's just a lot of kind of living space here. That this definitely would be an expensive room if you were paying for it.
Okay. Third is just gonna go to all the different rooms and like explore this, explore that. Oh, look at this, look at that. Okay, this is definitely the best bedroom. I'm gonna dibs on that. And then he'll go over the window and be like, "Oh, dude, Lucky, look at this view. Isn't it great?"
Like come away from tapping
Uh-huh.
different things. The room has turned slightly sauna-like just by accident.
Some combination of runes that were like.
Just turn on the humidifier and the dehumidifier and let them fight it out.
Yeah.
and joins you at the window.
It's like in Futurama where they have the convertible space car and they're in space, so they have to turn on the heat, and then it's too hot, so they turn on the AC, and then the fuel runs out. And they have to wait for a space tow truck.
That
Sorry.
now. Remember that now. Oh wow. It's gonna be really nice to sleep in a real bed again.
It is quite the amenity.
It is.
How much money did Danny win?
Probably a lot. Hey, can I show you one of the greatest pleasures one can have in a bedroom?
Oh my.
And he gives you this kind of.
Careless Whisper begins to play on
Sorry, didn't
Wrong rune.
Yeah, there's a rune for that. It's just Careless Whisper,
Get a,
saxophone version.
get a rune
Oh.
already.
And Lucky kind of like,
Hardcore version.
Yeah.
Lucky looks up there and I was like, I'm keeping my clothes on.
Well, yeah. Oh, just, come on, come on. He'll take her hand. And he's gonna pull her into the bedroom that he liked the most. And he pulls her in there. He says, "Okay, take off your shoes." And he just kicks off his shoes. Do you wear shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what we. Okay, that's fine.
Because otherwise you
Mm.
run the risk of someone stabbing you.
Yeah. Don't want that.
And
Yeah.
caltrops.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
we learned in episode 1.
Caltrops
Episode
can sometimes go awry.
Yep.
Agents of Chaos, caltrops.
Yep.
So he starts taking off his boots, and he tells you to do the same.
Okay.
And then he goes over to the bed, but instead of climbing into the bed, he climbs on top of the bed. And then he
Standing
offers
on the bed?
Yes, and then he
Okay.
offers his hands down to help her up.
And Lucky just like crouches down a little bit and then springs up and lands both feet top of the bed.
Okay, now
Little box jump.
do as I do. And he jumps a little bit.
And Lucky jumps like a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like a really big jump.
And she feels the bounce of the bed. It's like, uh-huh.
Lucky,
great.
renowned shadow denizen and assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And he just kind of continues like, yeah, isn't this the best? And he's just bouncing on the bed.
Can we cut to the room next door?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just
Lots of
hear this
giggles.
repetitive thunking
Yeah.
noise that
And I'm like,
seems pretty. Yeah.
There's just a man drinking
oh,
by
this is
himself.
great.
I wish I was a high roller.
And see.
Okay,
So
great.
wholesome.
Just some jumping on the bed.
Yeah.
Great. I love it. All right.
A pillow
So-
fight ensues.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
you probably just knock him straight off the bed at one point because you're so competitive.
And
I love
to then cut from the earlier evening, Lucky and Third, to then we get that like camera scene of like, here is the room, and then bam, here's the room again, but it's night, you know?
It's like 3 hours later.
Yes. And Third is running out of the downstairs door. Lucky.
And he has like a knife in his hand and a staff in the other. And he's just running at you. While you're
Yeah.
missing.
And by the way, the like bouncers are also like, hey.
Stupid. There, and then the staff collapses.
Okay. Yeah. They were just alarmed. They were like, well, you can't.
Sorry.
Don't waste time trying to sheath it. Just chuck it
That's
behind you.
true.
Don't chuck it.
I almost did that. He just checks over his shoulder and runs back. Lucky. There's someone after me. There was someone in the suite when we came back.
What?
Someone attacked me when I went back into the suite.
Okay. And the guitars go out and went running out and back up to the suite.
You hear the bouncer's like, I just said, as you disappear into the.
Leaving.
The whole first floor draws weapons.
Yeah.
Don't make me tap the sign.
Yeah. I will tap the sign again. Okay, so you head back up into the second floor hallway and find that you seem to be alone. Now, Third, he did display the ability to turn. No, you turned invisible.
Yes.
So there's no sign of him at the moment. But
He
did
was
you all? Did you get a stab in?
I did not stab him. I hit him with my staff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think he was bleeding.
No.
Okay.
Not.
I'm going to sheath one of the guitars and pull my Arumi with the other
Mhm.
hand. So
Which one is that? What weapon does that look like?
oh, the super flexible whip sword.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And that was,
Heck yeah.
lovely camouflaged as like a multi-tier, like jaunty belt.
Mm.
Like a cummerbund.
All right.
Love it.
And like since we're alone in this hallway and I've got a little bit more breathing room,
Yeah.
He
At
looks.
least
He
you
looks.
think you're alone.
Mhm. Yes, he looks visibly shaken.
but like no innocence or
Oh
at
no,
least
yeah. I mean,
bystanders.
you're in as far as you could tell, empty hallway with several doors on your right and stone wall on your on your right. The several doors on your left as the side that we've come up is
Okay.
that end of the hallway.
Description?
He was. I know he was wearing a mask. Probably a little bit taller than me. Seemed human. Kind of normal looking.
A little too average?
A little too average.
Mm.
Here's the weird thing. I would have sworn he looked like someone who I clocked on 10th. All right, no, I got okay. So look, I have this knife. I just pulled out this knife.
Hey, what I say?
No, they're downstairs.
Oh,
No, but it's still a good show. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
Rule of threes.
Mrs. Glitterhorn gave me this knife. I can't seem to get rid of it, and it talks to me. I know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Thirsty.
Are we in the
Shut up.
hallway or
You're in the
this
hallway.
suite? Okay.
And it talks to me, and it doesn't seem to shut up very
I
much.
told you he'd get away.
See, it just did you hear that?
No.
It
But,
just said,
you know, I have a ghostly companion.
okay, well, it just said, I told you he'd get away. But when I was finishing on stage on 10th, it started talking to me and saying, like, he did it, you should, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was kind of pointing out to someone, and I don't know, I just got a weird look from this one guy, and it might have been the same guy, but he was kind of nondescript. And then when I came back up here, I heard the knife talking again, but I just tried to shut it up because I just wanted to go to bed. I'm very tired. And then I came in and he grabbed me, and I don't know how he got in the suite, but he did somehow. We should probably make sure he's not hiding in there.
Arjun?
Yeah, I think she appears. Yeah.
You could use another set of eyes that see the unseen.
What are we looking for exactly?
I'm a little concerned that somebody is invisible.
Mm.
But, you know, just to cover our bases, they do seem to be adept at locks and possibly magic.
Okay. So, where should I look?
We're gonna go into the room
Okay.
and see if there's someone in the suite. Also, actually, before we go in, Arjun, is Third Blade haunted?
What blade?
I can't hear Arjun. So
Below, pointing to the.
what are you pointing at me for?
Are you okay?
Okay, gonna probably figure that one out later. I'm shelving that for the moment.
In fact, Lucky, when you look to talk to Arjun, you almost have a moment of, well, what was I talking about? Until you look at the blade again.
Ooh.
Like you can feel it wanting to slip out of your mind.
It's mega
Oh.
cursed.
Oh, rude. Rude.
It's double secret cursed.
What did I do?
No, not you. Your knife.
Yeah, this last
But even as it's out, staring at it, Arjun says she doesn't even like perceive a knife.
Mm,
So that's not a knife.
okay.
This is. Okay, well, if you can check the suite for us.
All right. I'll take a look. Just wait here for a second.
Will do.
What's she doing?
She's checking the suite for, you know, invisible assassins.
Okay.
Not the first time, so don't worry.
I mean, stuff isn't there, so I guess we have to go inside anyway to get it.
I mean, technically, like, I was kind of looking forward to, you know, jumping on the bed some more, so.
I mean, me too. I was also looking forward to sleeping on a bed.
I mean, you might want to change the sheets at that point, because, like, jumping, feet.
Well, that's why we took off our shoes.
Don't
You know,
understand humans.
we'll let Wall sleep in that bed. And he winks at her.
A moment later, Arjun drifts back through the door out into the hallway and says, "Oh, wait a minute. How can there be stone in this hallway?"
Some is imported stone, and some is
Don't
part
worry
of
about
cliff
it.
stone.
It's
Some
all-
of it's
it all
decor,
works.
some of it's support
Yeah.
stone. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Don't worry about
veneer.
it too much.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So the ghostly friend reemerges into the hallway. I don't see anyone in there, but if he's got something I can't see, I don't know where this is. Like, I'm not confident.
Well, we're gonna baseline assume that that the thing you can't see that he has is somewhat separate from the person that you might or might not be able to see. For simplicity's sake.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad you're back.
I didn't notice
Me
him
too.
do any magic. I think he just somehow got in the room, and not to me before I turned the lights on. So
Yeah.
maybe it's more.
Oh, so when you said looks really, oh, so not that like kind of super average that looks like a death mask super
No,
average.
oh no. He just looked like, all humans look alike. You know how it is.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Forget I said anything.
Okay.
Let's. Okay, well, let's check the room for non-invisible people, though I'm pretty sure Archer would have told me about that.
Maybe
Mostly sure.
we should probably call the others too with the. I guess I should have done that in the first place. I keep forgetting about this thing. It's so little.
I think just when you open the channel, there's a lot of yelling.
Yes.
Oh!
And
thank God I'm under attack.
Splashing and
What?
creaking and crashing and just.
Hello?
Quick, back to the ship.
What?
I'm being hauled out to sea.
Sal's being hauled out to sea.
What?
We'll come. We'll have to deal with her stuff later, I guess. All right, come on.
Okay.
Sal actually sounds like not baseline Sal, but
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a serious
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Store high!
This always happens when you just want to go to bed.
Yep.
Store high everything!
All right.
That's okay.
So,
You can sleep when you're dead. I hear the Shadowlands have great beds.
yeah,
Tempting.
the hospitality is just to die for.
Wah, wah.
Now, on the ship, I just want to paint a general scene of mayhem, right? The mage,
Hunter.
Coattail?
Kotil.
Right, but we're gonna call him Hunter.
Yeah.
So
Is
we
that-
didn't get it.
Because there were
Hunter?
too many K
Yeah,
names.
yeah, because I was getting confused between Corin and Kotil. Harper.
Oh, Harper.
Mage Harper.
Yeah.
I knew Hunter didn't
Harper.
sound right. Okay, so Mage Harper is up just like blasting icicles or something. No, you do ice.
Yeah.
He does lightning.
He can do ice too.
no, no,
does
no,
magic
I also
missiles.
do lightning. So
okay, well, that's fine.
and
But-
fire.
But I was definitely describing him as like an electricity specialist.
Yes,
Got
it is.
He's like trying to see in the dark and is
He's a
like
Sith.
zapping stuff. Kotil is running around trying to like protect the sails from being grabbed and ripped, and all that is like hoisting all the sails so that they're not.
Yeah, I think Kotil has also probably done boarding actions before. So he
Yes.
probably has like one of those big halberd spike things
Yeah.
that he's hitting
Yeah.
arms with.
He's like trying to do something, but also these tentacles are just so big around. It's like poke, poke. And the other thing that is notable about an adult kraken versus like a squid or an octopus is the top half of any tentacle has segmented bony armor
Chitinous
plating.
plates.
Yeah, chitinous plates. Not fit together perfectly like an insect's chitin, just sections of it. And so you have to try to get between those or get under on the sucker side. But it's just worth noting that these massive tentacles are also somewhat armored. So it's not just an easy thing of like chop and you're done. Kotil's running around. Now, was Danny unconscious when we brought him back?
No, Walt tells Danny to get the mage, so no, he was.
Yeah,
He is
okay.
conscious.
He was just stuck and a little injured, but he's fine to be underwater for an extended period of time. So yeah, he wasn't really in any danger. Danny's running around trying to help with stuff too. Hasn't done any choral singing because it didn't go great last time. Just as likely to impale the ship as whatever it is that's attacking. I think, Tarina's back at the ship as well. I'm gonna say, the camera sort of cuts along and finds what each person is doing. And I think Tarina is below decks trying to secure a bunch of stuff, getting all the pots and pans in order and because we've been in dock for so long, she
Right, things get out.
Yeah, you're not as diligent as when you're out to sea. And so she's like scrambling around trying to do that and like securing cargo. And, maybe that's what Danny's doing too. I think the two of them are below decks trying to secure as much stuff because it sounds like we're going out to sea one way or the other. And that is...
And what's Portina doing?
Oh, Portina, that's a great question.
I think she's running back with us, right?
Yeah, she's running onto the ship.
About to go do something.
Yeah.
Big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, she turned into a giant cat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yes, and the clothes melded with her. But she is much more like bobcat sized, which is even bigger from this morning. So take that as you will.
Okay.
So what do you do?
I have a quick question. Have we had a chance to regain AP since we fought the mini squid?
No. Well, not really, because it's meant to represent real downtime, and you've been doing stuff all day.
Run around and do this.
So I think we're going to stay as is.
Okay. That's what I assumed, but I wanted to be sure. I had to see what my resources are at the moment.
I would be okay with everyone healing one wound through the course of the day. That would be fine. Whatever you had from the morning, but not your
Not mine, no.
hall fight, because that just happened. So.
Okay.
But basically, you're a Marvel hero now.
I'm Gambit.
You had a hall fight.
Yeah.
Well, a defender anyway.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
It's just-
I
there's
would like
so
to
much
see
water
what Sal does, because I think Wall's gonna be defensive of Sal and the ship.
why? It's not your fault. Be defensive.
I'll take AP damage on it. That was a good burn.
Have you met us?
I appreciate it.
I had a thing.
Jason, would the tentacles count as minions, or are we fighting something that's like? Is it all considered like a big bad?
What is it, like goons, minions,
Right,
big bad?
because I have stuff that like I can do stuff to minions, but that might not work if we're counting the tentacles as not a minion.
I'm okay counting them as minions as long as it's not something that's like stunning,
Right.
or like
something mental.
fascination,
Yeah,
something
like
like
stuff that
that.
I would do.
Got it.
Which makes sense.
But yeah, if you have minions or something that affects a small
Like to pry
group,
someone
or,
free from a tentacle or something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, stuff like that, totally
Okay.
fine.
Cool.
And I am intending to track damage for the tentacles.
Got it. Cool.
And I think we established that Kraken have 8.
I don't know. Did we establish a?
8 or 6, probably 8. Oh, number
Tentacles.
of tentacles.
Yes, because they're related to octopus, but
Right.
they are a
Yeah,
different
probably
species.
Right.
So,
I thought they were squiddies.
Yeah, I thought they were squid.
Okay,
Let's
yeah,
Google
10.
it.
do they have 10?
Squid have 10.
Look, y'all figure out what you're doing. I'll Google it.
Okay.
I'm not on the scene yet. I'll Google it.
All right, well, that's fine. I'm not necessarily going to track all of their hit points individually, but like when it loses enough damage,
Got it.
one of them goes.
Got it.
So
Cool.
that's the plan.
That works.
Okay. I run on board ship and grab my harpoon and jump over the edge and start swimming down towards where
Okay.
the tentacles are coming from.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things we had established is that the tentacles are unusually long. You know, for how you would normally expect the sort of.
So the creature's much deeper down.
Yeah, well, like in the way that a squid's tentacles are longer than an octopus's tentacles.
There's
right?
multiple answers.
Oh,
some say
okay.
8, some say 10.
Okay. Well, I like.
It's your.
I like 8. I think squid have 10 because they have their 2 hunter
Yeah,
To
yeah,
like
like two
paddles.
That's
extra
something they
long.
said. Yeah,
Yeah.
they had like 2 arms and then.
Yeah, so I think
All right.
being between octopus and squid, that's where that deviates. But they do have the like weirdly long tentacles for like the mass of the rest of the body. So that's worth
So
noting.
as I jump over, I shout, "Get your hands off me!
Okay.
Go
Dive into the
damn
water.
hands
Yeah.
off them.
Hey you.
Get your damn dirty tentacles!"
So do you have a move that you want to use?
Well, I'm swimming down to try and find its face, eye, whatever. So I don't know if you want to pause on that while.
Yeah, that'll take a second of movement. Do you have a like see in the dark kind of thing?
Nope.
Because it's nighttime and you're underwater.
I have nothing like that.
But you also do magic stuff.
Yeah. We could maybe change navigate a little bit.
What's that do?
Navigate is something that lets me find places like an oasis, a shelter, ruins, or nest.
Or the Kraken attacking you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we did like nest would be. Or, I mean, I also probably have a good idea of what direction it's in
You can
because I
follow
can
the
feel which way
tentacles.
the tentacles are going.
Yeah.
I was
That
about to
just
say, I'm like,
makes
oh,
more sense.
it's right here.
Follow that.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally under our ship.
Yeah. So you are, chasing it, and you find that as you jump off, so the ship is pulled in bow first, and the mass of the tentacles seem to be converging almost directly aft, just a little ways out. So it's not like 100 yards out, but it's pretty big. So, Wall?
Wall is making a dash onto the ship and heading to the cannons.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Do
He's-
we have aft cannons?
I don't know that we do, but I think Wall's just gonna try to swing whatever cannons he can and
Sure.
just, yeah.
Most ships like this would have like 2 bow chasers and 2 stern.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have a lot of cannon. Most of them
Yeah.
would be on the broadsides.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But there's probably something. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't meaning that as like a
No, I understand.
challenge.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
the fiction as we know it.
Yeah,
So-
I'm wondering if are there any tentacles that are like leaning over and it's just where a cannon might be sitting, like that kind of situation?
They are kind of coming up, if this is the back of the ship here and the rest of the ship is behind my hand, the tentacles are kind of coming up in an angle
Got it.
and have grabbed around.
Gotcha.
And you can only see about like 5 tentacles
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
So,
Well, the other 4 have to anchor it, otherwise it's just holding on to the ship.
right, he's like, oh, I got it,
Well-
everybody.
Wall's gonna wrench one of the cannons free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you have like a super strength ability or?
Nope.
Well, I imagine these are probably the like what are those called? Those smaller.
Well, it's they should be on some kind of caster still.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just taking it off of its mounting
Yeah.
and like wheel it over to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pull it out of that and
Yeah.
wheel it over to get a better angle.
Yep.
Get it loaded. All of that. We can definitely work with that. There is. Does anyone want to roll for Mage Harper?
Sure.
I'll roll.
Yeah,
this.
someone else can do that.
All right. What's he
It's not-
doing?
He's doing a spell about it.
Cool. That's a 12.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Success.
So I'm gonna.
Success.
just-
Nice.
I'm very much abstracting this above
Yes,
ship
yes.
stuff.
He casts Banish Kraken.
But he gets a couple damage in.
Nice.
And for Cotil, I need somebody to roll.
16.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ship is further protected for the moment. He's getting a lot of stuff. So like the hull and body of the ship are creaking and groaning, but this thing is not. There's a lot of like, every once in a while one of the tentacles will like whip free to reposition, and it hasn't like cracked the mast or ripped the sail or done any serious damage yet. I mean, all those cracks and stuff will have to be attended to, but that's also the kind of stuff that you as a living ship can probably
Yeah.
just
Heal.
like the what was that old commercial we saw all the time where there was like a ding in the windshield and they just put that like glue in it or something.
They still have those.
Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, the ding repair.
Ding repair.
Undinger.
Yep, that's what it was called.
Has Sal done anything yet? Have you made
Not since I
research
dived in
sighting.
the water and started
Okay.
Yeah.
heading back.
I'll make sure you get a turn before we do something.
Yeah,
'cause
so-
I have an idea.
Yeah, let's actually follow up and get both of these actions in. You just want to fire the cannon,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
All right, let's roll for it.
Ah, that's a 5.
Is
That's a
that
failure.
Failure.
5 is a full miss, huh?
Yep. You fail your intended action and face a setback of the guide's
What
choice.
setback? Okay, so
Can I propose something here, or at least bring something to your attention?
you can, yeah.
He's firing a cannon that isn't chalked. The chalk blocks, that's what prevents the cannon from shooting across the
Yes.
other side of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever happens, it's probably going to go flying down the deck of the ship.
Yeah, I think in your hurry to reposition
Yeah, that makes sense.
you go crashing back.
Cool.
And I'm not going to have you take damage, but what I am going to have is in that, you were like loading it and getting the gunpowder in there and everything, and you like smashed through that barrel of gunpowder, which is fine because it's not impact explosive. If you just don't set all that powder on fire,
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
It's not like nitroglycerin or something. But yeah, you go crashing back in your armor and whatever, and you just like crack this barrel open and you're disoriented. It's gonna take you a second to get your feet again.
Cool.
Underwater, Sal has a feeling of, I don't know why, but I feel like something just went horribly wrong.
Feels gritty.
I have indigestion for some reason.
Yeah. And we also know that the cannonballs sort of like hit the surface of the water and skipped. I don't know if you know that could happen.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wild to me.
It skims, yeah.
Yeah.
There should have been a big bang, though, right? The
Yes.
loud cannon fire. Yeah, good.
Absolute huge bang. The
Good.
two of you could hear the cannon fire, and you also hear as you're running down the dock, like, was that cannon fire?
Yep.
What? Like, who's shooting?
And yet they don't notice the sound of the docks literally being ripped apart.
It was gentle up until, like, it was gradual up until now. It's like groaning, that sort of creaks and groans that could be.
Probably the ships nearby would have been concerned, but
Yeah.
anyone, like everyone hears the cannon, but not
Yeah.
everyone hears the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you assholes.
Yeah.
It was not so much an unplausibility situation as a you jerks situation.
Well, also, it's a really big deal in town tonight with the life chit.
Oh, there's
Big
probably like
rotation.
festivals and
Yeah.
noise and...
So there's all kinds of noise going on, and if people left a crew back on their ship, they're a drunk skeleton
Yeah.
crew. So,
They don't have
Literally.
drunk skeletons. It just goes right through them.
not with that attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you say that to the guy in the last ship, or not the last ship, the last unicorn.
I don't
But,
remember.
Remember that now.
but it wasn't wine. It was
Yes.
it was just water, because skeletons. It was the memory of wine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
Believe
just
me, I
thinking,
remember
like,
all the Schmendrick
the
stuff
pl-
very well.
the placebo effect is an effect because it works.
Okay. So,
That's gonna
you're
be the name of my next ship, the placebo.
you're diving through the water.
Yes.
I think we established that you could sort of jet forward, right?
Yeah.
You-
Right.
Yeah.
I don't float. I don't sink. I have control of my buoyancy.
yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm swimming down to find an eye.
okay.
Assuming that these Kraken have eyes, maybe they don't in this world.
All right. Now that
What do I know about Kraken?
So I like that for the navigation roll.
Okay.
Or is that like an AP?
Yeah, it'd be 1 AP.
And roll the die or no?
No, just an AP. Unless you want to change that up.
Nope, that's fine. So spend your AP,
Spent?
and you right away have a sense of like, okay, these two thicker tentacles, we know this is like on either side of its, that's not dorsal's like top. Flukes, right?
I think
That's
that's
the sides
right.
of a
It's
fish.
dorsal and ventral.
Flank?
Flank, yeah, flank is because it's more like weird blobby shape than fish shape. But it does have like a right side up, you know, and its eyes are essentially on top of it, and so
I mean, it has a pointy head.
yeah. And I think it's got like a beak on the bottom, so we'll go with that. And everyone draws Kraken differently, but I'm picturing it as like essentially armored squidtopus. So that's, you know, it's just scripted. I think that describes everything.
Armored octopode.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I like squidtopus.
Squidtopus.
So
Sounds very
Um,
regal.
it's what?
It's like, I should have a top hat. I am Mr. Squidtopus.
Yeah.
Squidtopus.
I see you're late again. But yeah, you have a sense of you're like, aha, these are the guide ropes. Like these are the two main ones, right? The beefy arms.
Right.
Yes. And yeah, there are two eyes that are like almost like sort of on either side of the head. Essentially,
They're almost 180 from each other,
Yeah.
but not quite.
Yeah.
and on top of the head versus like straight ahead like a fish or whatever. So, but yeah.
Okay.
But so you want an eye?
Eye.
Okay. What do you want to do about it?
I want to stab it in the eye with this harpoon that I have.
Well, let's roll it. Put your eye out.
I'll put someone's eye out.
It's all fun and games.
7. So that is a
7.
tough choice.
Okay. All right. Now I'm open to this is going to do damage, but it's not going to hit the eye,
Okay.
no matter what.
Okay.
Your tough choice is it could do 3 damage and your harpoon is stuck. Not
Okay.
lost, but stuck. Or 2 damage and you get your harpoon back right away.
3 damage and it's stuck.
Okay. We'll deal with that as we will. We're up to 5 damage. Lucky and Thirdo.
Mhm.
Look, I knew him before he was famous. I have the flyer.
Yeah.
I want to make those now.
Do it. Is graphic design your passion?
No, I know only the bare minimum of graphic
Okay.
design.
So
So-
it is your passion.
So you said, are we at the docks already?
Yeah, you're running down the docks. You can see the ship's a rocking.
Yeah, well, we better go a knocking.
Yes.
All right, throwing one idea out the window, but I'm gonna board. I heard the cannon go off.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, did Sal tell us that it's a Kraken? Or did you just say
No, I just said I was under attack.
okay, then I guess
and-
we'll just run on board. We'll probably might be talking along the way, like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, and I think you've got some updates probably from Kotil. I don't know.
Okay,
Does
so-
Kotil get an earpiece? Is he part of the team? Or Danny would have one.
Danny would have
Yeah,
one.
okay. So yeah, Danny gives you some updates.
Okay.
He's like, definitely a Kraken. You know, a mature, but not. I don't think he would say ancient.
Big. Big.
But
Mr.
like
Thurdo.
I think his people are pretty familiar with the Kraken in general. Like they have to live in harmony with them, and I think they know like, oh yeah, that's a young one, that's an adolescent, that's a mature, you know, adult. So it's an adult Kraken, but it's not like if it was a total monster Kraken, it would just eat the ship, and you'd be,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't have had time to wonder about it.
And
So-
we'd accident, you know.
Yeah.
And if we could defeat it,
You would open a portal to the underworld. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's not going to happen with this.
Ooh, right
Um,
here in the bay? That's
but-
kind of cool.
But it is a mature Kraken, which is problematic.
Which means ink.
And when you get there, you see from the dock lights, and now there isn't much other light though because that storm had rolled in and it was raining. I think the rain has taken a break, but it's still like distant rumbling thunder now and then, and it's probably gonna rain again. So everything's pretty wet, and the
We're kind of in the eye.
yes, yeah. And as you get closer, you can see these sort of dark gray, almost purpley tentacles.
So I can see them.
Yeah.
Are they holding on top of the ship?
They've
on the
they've
railing, or-
grabbed the, like, if you can imagine, you know, my hand grabbing the back of the ship.
Okay.
It's like, you know, 2 on the sides, a couple on the top, and it's just trying to like
That's what
grab
I
at
needed.
stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
Like
Yeah.
this, if this were the back of the
yeah,
ship.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's-
just want to make sure I can. Do I see the tentacles while on?
Yeah,
the
they just
deck?
can
Got
reach
it.
further along
Yep.
than our fingers can because our fingers aren't 10 times the length of our body. So
Okay. I
imagine
knew what I want to do.
horses.
All right, so we'll run onto the ship. There, it's going to take a moment to kind of assess. And then he's going to run downstairs to the cannon room where you are.
Okay.
He goes, I need a
There
bag.
is black powder all over the floor.
I need a bag. Is there a bag? He's going to look for a bag. And if there's not one here, he's going to get one from the kitchen.
Sure, what
probably.
kind of bag are you looking for? Like a grain sack or?
Yeah, grain sack.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Definitely. You probably have to empty out some grain,
Maybe
much to
dumps out some
Tarina's
apples and-
dismay. Yeah.
Like,
My
fine.
apples.
he's going to fill the sack with some gunpowder and then take it back up to the deck.
Okay. That sounds like a whole turn to me.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
I like that. You see Third come in and
Mm-hmm.
grab a sack and scoop a bunch of gunpowder in there and take off. So, Lucky?
I'm gonna go up top, and I see these tentacles. Like, I target the thickest one, and I bring the kind of like core of myself up, and I throw out my hand to shoot a bolt of
Darkness.
yes, a bolt of darkness at this dark tentacle,
Okay. What does it do?
and it guides my hand to make the perfect shot and hits for 6 AP.
Ooh.
Okay. Wow. 6
Dang.
AP. Wait, 6
Wait,
damage?
Or 6 damage.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. How
It
much-
costs 3 AP.
3 AP. Well, that's a lot of AP still.
Wait.
Okay, so 6 damage is going to be enough that this tentacle you're dealing with doesn't sever, but tell me if this is the wrong vibe, but it kind of shrivels. Like it starts to crack and pop, and like it doesn't have bones in it, but it's
It necrotizes.
yes, yeah. The muscles start spasming, and it like some of the armor like crunches and flakes off, and that it just falls into the water where it's probably just limp at its side. So, yeah, 1 down.
Nice.
And I think that was the one that was kind of mostly on. You said you wanted to go up on top, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the one that was most threatening the mast.
So it's kind of this one?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to choose the one that was coming around and pulling the most, I guess.
Yes,
For listeners, I raised my middle finger.
yes.
That was the an obvious joke.
The Cotil is scrambling along. He's like, "Oh my god, thank you!" But then he's sort of like saw what happened, and just like doesn't like. He's running around doing a bunch of stuff anyway, but he just stops praising you and goes back to like wrapping ropes and is like obviously afraid of you right
Don't
now.
let me see that ever again.
So he is very much battening down the hatches, but he's also going to do it over here.
There is something urgently requiring his attention elsewhere.
Yes. Okay, now that's everyone with a turn. So what do we want to do?
I know what I want to do. But
Yeah, I know what
other
I
people
want to
should
do
go.
also.
But you haven't gone in a while, so you should probably do
Wall
that.
just kind of coughs and he's like,
Oh wait, I forget. Bad guys get turns in this game.
no. No.
Let's check the rule book.
All right.
I don't remember that.
Now the good news is I'm rolling these two not with advantage, but as 2 separate attacks, and they are one is against the ship and one is against Sal specifically. Sal, do you want purple or yellow?
I'll take purple to match the purple die I've got. Already.
Okay, so the purple one is the result against you specifically. I got a 14 against
Should
Sal
have chosen yellow.
and a 9 against the ship.
Okay.
So the ship continues to withstand. It's you can hear snapping and popping all along this thing, but the keel is holding. The ship is in one piece, right? It's not breaking apart yet.
The ship counterattacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what cannons do. Right?
But that's Sal. So Sal, one of the tentacles that you could see, it was like grabbing like stone formations along the bottom of the sea, which is relatively deep here, but
Sure.
not so deep that this thing can't grab the bottom and your ship. And it releases one of those to come up, and it is trying to like flick you.
It's giving me a sucker punch.
Right. I'm just saying it's not trying to grab you. It's like,
It's trying to knock me
it's
away.
trying to whip it.
Yeah.
Whip it good.
Yes.
And it does.
When you have a problem.
You must whip it.
With a 14, you're looking at 3 damage.
Okay.
Sorry. It's real hard.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, let's check in with Wall.
Yeah, Wall just like waves the cloud of powder and kind of coughs, and he sighs, and like he takes a moment just and there's like internal monologue for a second of, how did I get here?
Sorry, I have to pause you. That's a very good moment. I'm sorry to interrupt. This also has a pushback effect.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I assume.
And so you actually like pop out of the water
Okay.
and as Wall can see, right? There's like but Sal, they only come up like 3 feet out of the water and then plap. It's like, back flops back down onto the water. But
Okay.
what do you want to do?
Yeah, Wall just has a moment of internal monologue. He's like, how did I get here? I was once brother to the king of an empire. I was captain of the Night's Watch. I was meant to be warden of an entire realm. And here I sit besotted in gunpowder. If you ever stood with me, stand with me now! And I'm making a declaration.
Ooh, all right.
Nice.
I've never felt your hand in my affairs. I've never felt your blessing. I've never felt your favor. So if you exist, show me now. And I'm going to charge at the nearest tentacle and do a wall.
Okay. Cool.
But I believe that's an auto hit if it's a basic attack, because I just made a declaration.
Yeah. Awesome. And is that the one that you can use like
One per scene. That's
one-
my
yep.
one free hit.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you see, because you're in the aft section, you can see out the side porthole enough of tentacle to like get a shot with your halberd.
Yep.
Okay.
Pole arm.
Yeah, and you can even feel a guide. Well, let's see how much of a guide. Oh no, it's a free hit.
It's a free hit.
Yeah, so you feel that guiding force and land it. How much damage does that do?
My halberd deals a 3.
Okay, magic weapons for the win. What's next?
I want to go next.
Okay. As you splash
Oh,
back
no.
down into the water.
Why are you giggling?
No, you put me exactly where I want to be. So that's been fantastic. Sal looks into the sky, reaches a hand up, and calls lightning down.
Okay.
That's going to be a 4 AP move. And
Wait, hold on. Before you roll anything, does it say to roll something?
no.
Okay. How much damage does it do?
This does 8 damage. And if the creature has metal connected to their body, it becomes molten, hitting them for an extra 2.
Okay. That's what I was wondering about, because
Yeah.
your harpoon is stuck.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
But I also want to offer you a deal.
All right.
If you are okay with this, because I wasn't going to, you said molten, I wasn't going to destroy your harpoon with just a single bolt of lightning. It's very frightening, but if you want to pay, this costs you 4 AP.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to pay 6, I'll double the damage and destroy the harpoon.
If I could, I would.
Hmm.
But I was at, because I spent one on that navigate roll, I was only at 5 AP.
You want to go to -1 AP?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I'm under attack by a giant fucking Kraken. Of course I do.
Now, if you're at -1 AP, I'm going to consider you karmically in debt.
I fully endorse this. I love this idea.
Okay.
I don't want like a whole cursed weapon, but karmically in debt, I can.
Yeah, who would ask for a cursed weapon? That's wild. That 16 damage takes us to 30,
Wow.
and 2 more of the tentacles fall away as this thing is zapping and twitching and
And if you want to put a condition or anything on Sal, I'm also okay with that. That was kind of why I was happy that you flung me away, because I wouldn't be right there when the lightning bolt hit in water.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let this -1 AP ride as a mystical condition that I will do something with.
Okay. Should I take a -1 penalty to all my rolls?
No, that's
While you still.
no, that's not fun.
Okay. I'm offering here.
I know. It's not
fun.
It's not in the rules to go negative AP. I've played by the rules as much as I can,
And we've hit our limit.
and now I'm inventing rules because the game doesn't have enough.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. The game.
How
is,
this worked
is
was D8s.
How dare you? How dare you? I did so much math.
I know.
Okay, so there are 2 tentacles left grabbing the ship. Probably the lowest 2. The one you're still stabbing is not one of the ones that let go. And then there's one on the other side of the ship. So low down on either, almost waterline, basically. And everybody sees this massive bolt of lightning crash into the water.
Feel
and
it too.
Yeah.
And thunder sound.
Your hair stands on end. The thunderclap just, blasts everyone in the area. You can hear a lot of screaming and running on the dock now because it's like some people are yelling Kraken, some are yelling Storm. It's just, there's a lot of chaos. And third, this is only for your ears. You can hear a delighted, high-pitched giggle.
I had a feeling.
It's not coming from your knife or anything.
No, I know
but
where that high-pitched giggle comes from.
There are no thumbs here for
Yes.
you, woman.
Thumbs.
My thumb!
If only Kraken had thumbs.
But you can hear that in the distance. Like, there's something happening with Mrs. Glitterhorn. She's just delighted by the show that you've put on.
Obviously, that I put on.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what Third's gonna do. So the 2 tentacles are left. They're down lower. That makes it a little harder, but we're gonna do something crazy. Because Third is not a combat character, so I gotta be a little creative with the things I can do. So he's gonna see the other tentacle down there. He's like, I hope I have good aim. He's gonna tie up the bag, hold it over, measure, drop it, and as it's on its way down, he reaches up to his sleeve, slips a card out, and the little sheet of paper lights up with fire.
Gambit.
A little flash paper.
Yes, the flash paper. So he's going to attempt to make the bag explode as it's close to the tentacle.
Yeah. Okay. I love it.
Don't know how much, if it would hit or how much damage it would do. That's up to you.
Do you have a move that you're using?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't have any combat skills.
Okay.
So I have defensive combat skills, but
Well, let's roll a die. How much AP do you have left?
7.
For 2 AP, I'll let you roll 2d20 and take the
Okay.
better.
Sure.
I like the AP mechanic. I genuinely do. I just want to spend it more. I want more stuff
Yeah,
to do.
I barely used it at all this game. All right, let's see what happens. That's a 9 and a 12.
Oh, we'll take the 12 then.
Nice.
Um,
Success.
so yeah, that's a full success. And yeah, you blast this thing. What did we have the cannon do? 3?
I don't know.
Or the cannon missed.
The cannon missed.
Cannon
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a 3 damage to me. So, yeah, let's get in there for 3.
Okay.
I love it.
That's my turn.
I think as I feel this kind of ricochet off the side, I am going to like do a running leap off the side of the ship and spin around with my roomie to the one that's on the side that Wall was fighting.
Sure. Yeah, you could see his like halberd poking out the window and stabbing this thing.
And so as I like leap off and spin around, and there is this swirling blade around me.
Yeah.
That I'm going to cut this tentacle.
Yeah, this is very good. I'm
That's
happy
very
about
visual.
it. All right. Why don't you? Are you using a card or
I would
Just
like to
being cool.
use blue poison
what's that?
for 1 AP that the victim falls asleep for 1 hour.
I think that
That
is.
it would paralyze that.
I think that's
flanker.
geared for humanoids. So I would probably reduce its effectiveness, but it's not going to be useless. But just so you know.
So it's
I
fine.
think-
I don't need the whole Kraken to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I was more aiming
Oh.
for the tentacle.
Yeah, okay.
Because I figured it would take time to get back to the Kraken itself anyway.
I'm open to that. Great.
Wall shouts, "Stay here, beasts! You're about to get lucky."
All right.
We have been
I
up
mean,
all night.
we are up all night.
Let's roll for it.
And that is a 19.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Okay.
Lovely.
And what is
Those
that?
are really nice.
Beautiful and difficult to read.
How much damage does that weapon do?
3.
3. Excellent. And yeah, I'm gonna say as you fall down, you manage to deliver just a bunch of lacerations, but you don't sever it. However, you land balanced on it, just a little ways back from the aft of the ship. So I think the two of you could kind of see each other, Lucky and Wall, as you're like doing the Legolas up the troll chain, as you've landed there, and now you have to decide like, do I want to keep cutting this thing that I'm standing on, or well, you will get to decide. But let's check in. What? Oh, everyone's had a turn. All right, I'm gonna make an attack on the ship.
With the tentacle that I had, or the tentacle on the other side?
Just its general attempt. So, I'm reducing its damage based on the available tentacles. So, it got an 18 on its roll, and I'm gonna say we're taking on some water in the hull.
I'm going to exploit its attempt to pierce the ship. So make a sneak attack on it.
Oh yeah, okay,
Ooh, yeah.
Sal cries out in pain.
okay. And where you're back on the?
I'm on the surface of the water.
Yes, okay.
In
Are you
between.
just standing on the water?
No, I don't think I can stand on the water.
Why not?
Because
You're
I don't
blind.
think so.
Okay, that's fine. I'm like, I don't see a reason why you couldn't, but that's up to your fictional positioning.
Yeah.
So, however you like.
I think Sal's body functions much like a human body
Okay.
in that, they control their buoyancy more, but not so much they can balance on their feet on top.
Sure. Okay.
15.
Nice.
Okay. For your sneak attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What does that do?
So I take the opportunity, like I feel it tense underneath
Yeah.
me, like underneath my
Yeah.
feet.
Basically, this wounded one, which is a little bit slowed, right, or numbed, you can feel it like, okay, I can only, like if you've got a bad hand, you're like, okay, you hold the paper still. Like, you have one job, injured hand. And the other one was like raking along the side and like trying to pull bits of it apart. And so,
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
while you're standing so still for me,
Yes.
awesome. I am going to whip my sword around behind me
mhm.
and slash towards the meat of it.
Yeah, maybe get into the sucker side of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, great.
So it kind of like whips underneath, kind of that weird flexibility comes into play, but also the razor sharpness
Yep,
to slice it from below for another 3 damage.
great. Okay, now that is gonna sever the tentacle. So, which end do you want to wind up on?
I think I will wind up on the end closest to wall.
Okay, so I understand that you want to end up on that end.
Mhm.
I would like you to roll a d20.
Great.
You have a goal, and it's good to have goals.
Goals are nice. And a 17 is also nice.
Yes, you are on that end, which
Rolling hot.
you kind of have to run up it as it's like collapsing
yes.
under its own weight, but
Give us some Crouching Tiger,
you
Hidden
run up
Dragon
and-
action right now.
and then can we have you like grab forearms with Wall?
That was the
And-
intent.
Have
Yep.
it-
Yeah.
Love it.
Or Wall's just like, nah.
It's like I start running, like I slash it and I feel it sever from below, and
Yeah.
I use that upwards momentum to propel myself up and reach out like very cinematically, like with the one hand,
As
like
the
Mass
thing is like,
Effect.
Yep.
yeah,
It's, yep. Yep.
awesome.
I can see it. I can picture it.
Okay.
And it is up to you whether you reach out. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
bitch, I don't know you.
No. Wall's hand was already out. Wall's hand was already out.
Yep. So yeah, you loop and bring. Oh, again, like I think my favorite Legolas moment is him getting on the horse. That's like at a full run. I love the like just elven defiance of physics and kinetics. No, didn't care for it.
No, I said screw physics. Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
Defy it.
So yeah,
Yep.
get pulled into the ship. What else is happening?
I don't know what to do next.
I'm going to swim towards the ship
Mm-hmm.
and shout, "Throw me a weapon!"
Okay.
On it.
Yeah, or I can have one of the NPCs do it if you want to.
Third has nothing to do right now.
Okay.
He doesn't have off the table. Get Sal a weapon.
All right. I'm sure there are
That's what I find.
lots of like random things around. You know, lots of those like pole hooks
Uh-huh.
that you would use to get stuff out of the water if something,
Perfect.
you know, whatever.
He goes and looks through, comes back over the edge. What kind of weapon?
Pokey.
Got it. Runs back to the.
Find a spear of some
Find a
kind.
spear.
Yep. And throw the spear to
There you
it.
go.
Catch.
Totally should. That's
Here it comes.
a karmic consequence.
No, he probably threw it like sideways like that. He's
Yep. Okay.
Jason, I'm fully down for all the little bad luck things. That's why I was offering to give you the -1 in addition to whatever karmic consequence.
I-
Now I found a
good.
cannonball.
I'm gonna have some disadvantage applied to certain rolls.
Great.
So,
I love it. But like even minor little, unluck or bad things,
Yeah.
I'm totally behind that. You
Or-
you won't hurt my feelings if you
I
quote, pick on
understand that.
me.
But also potentially, in this type of game, there are lots of things we all agree we don't need to roll for that.
Right.
You fill in the blank. I may end up making you roll for certain things
Great.
that normally wouldn't have been an issue, but right now you're just off your game and
Yeah.
nothing feels right. Also, you just got like parts of the hull opened up. So you are taking on water.
Right.
And
Sal's never taken on water, and I don't think Sal has ever used up all their AP before. Being kind of inherently a magical being,
Yeah.
this is really like off, and I think the equivalent of adrenaline is running in Sal right now. But when they are finished, I don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be a backlash, I think.
Okay. Okay. Cool. What else do we have going on?
Are there any remaining threats within the area?
I think that tentacle that just did all that damage did so by like pulling away, and it was the last one, so it doesn't have leverage anymore. So, I think there's a lot of commotion in the water still as this thing is like whipping around and maybe trying to figure out like how can I grab it again or whatever it is that's happening underwater. There's a lot of bubbles.
Okay. Okay.
But the ship is not currently grabbed. So it's probably fine. It's over.
Where's the doctor's still down there? So, Wall is going
Yep.
to take a moment. If it's okay with Pooja, Wall's grasp loosens but lingers just ever so slightly, and then he says, "Back in a minute, love." And he's gonna dive with his spear out.
Okay. Yeah, you hit the water. You know how to swim very well. That's not an issue.
I would like to wild attack.
Okay. How does that work?
This is very risky. It costs 0 AP, but I have to roll to see what the result is.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
So I've never used this before.
Woo.
It's 12, which means I do double damage.
Okay.
I attack with reckless power, disregarding my safety, but I describe my signature style,
Okay.
which is just I am a train of pain coming right to you
Okay.
with
yeah.
my spear out.
We just have this torpedo.
Yes. Yes.
and, okay. Yeah, you just drill through the water and hit this thing spinning. That's 6 damage.
Yes.
That's a lot.
I do quadruple on a 20.
Oh my god. I didn't think we were gonna get to this point. Okay, so
But the intent is, where's the dock?
right.
Yeah.
Now, what is the reckless component of this? Now, does it mean you're exposed to
I'm-
attack or?
That's if I roll poorly. My
Oh,
weapon can
okay.
get stuck, or like they can counterattack me. But I
You rolled high
I rolled
enough.
high
where
enough
that,
to-
that's not the
yeah.
risk. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's fun though. I like that move.
that's pretty cool.
Okay, so yeah, you get down there, you manage to like really slice and dice the body of this thing, and you can see its eyes, you can see this like blackened blast mark on the top of its head where the lightning bolt must have hit, and you can see it has stopped. It's not grabbing onto the bottom anymore, and it's like kind of reassessing and kind of rearranging itself. And it has dropped Doc, who has sunk to the bottom.
Okay.
She's not moving.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. Use whatever remaining action I have to move towards Doc.
Okay. What's next?
Have you told us that you're taking on water?
No,
Anyone
I don't
below
think so
deck
yet.
would know. Oh no, you're above.
No, I'm above deck. I'm
You're
sitting
you
with
know.
Yeah.
Because you were below deck to be able to pull her in the window. So yeah, you can tell. And I think, did you just yell something?
I screamed.
Crying
Oh,
in pain,
scream, yeah.
Okay, so now you're...
I think right now what Sal feels is like a sinking sensation
Sure.
in their stomach, but doesn't know that that's necessary. Like knows something's wrong,
Yeah,
but not.
this is not just anxiety. There actually is something
Right, yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking
I'll communicate that over the comms.
Okay. They're just like, there's not much I can do up here. So he's gonna go down, and he's just kind of like running around the ship looking for like an idea what can inspire him. But I think he'll find where the ship is taking on water and be like, shit. And then he's gonna try to find some spare wood if he can hammer some wood and to try to make repairs.
Sure.
He doesn't actually know what he's doing, but he figures
Yeah, for
plug the hole.
for the smaller cracks, I think there are probably some emergency tar barrels that are good for that sort of thing. So,
Okay.
I think that's a thing that ships had. So, yeah, you get out there for the bigger. I mean, there's not much you can do, but
But it's bad.
fixing some of it is better than none. So,
Yeah, although he does see the big hole, and he's like, that's a real problem.
yeah. So I'm gonna have you roll a die.
See if I can figure out.
And before you roll it, I want to establish the stakes. It's not that you can make it worse. All right, that's not what a 5 would be in this case.
That'd be a 1.
But it's more like this is like a luck die of like how much tar could you find a mop? Or like, was
Do
there
I find it something useful to
Yeah.
fix the thing? That makes sense, because
Yeah.
that's what he's doing, is
Yeah.
looking for something to do. That's 8.
Oh, God, it looked like a 1 from here.
So it's a tough choice.
Okay, so
I like
I'm
this.
just gonna I'm gonna have you take a wound.
Okay.
One harm as you are racing around, you're slipping and falling and just getting banged up. trying to get this. But you are making progress. You have slowed the taking on of water, and
Yeah, I think he's just gonna look for like piece of wood, hammer, nail, and just try to
okay.
patch it up.
Yes, and you
Far
slammed your
what he
thumb
can.
very
Yeah.
hard.
Mm.
Lot more
And you can
cursing.
see, Lucky, you can see Thirdo, running around. And,
So I know we're taking on water, and I've communicated that, but I also heard Sal scream,
yes.
and I'm wondering if I can bend my mend a little bit, because I know that there is this connection between the two of you. You are of the ship is of you.
Mm.
That through a laying on of hands of my mend.
Can you read mend for me? I'm not denying it. I just want the vibe of this card.
When you gently touch a creature, immediately restoring 5 HP and mending minor wounds like cuts and bruises. It doesn't remove impairments or heal permanent wounds or cure disease.
Okay. So like it wouldn't regrow an arm, but it would close the stump and
I think so.
yeah, okay.
Like, or at least that's how it seems.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not currently in combat.
Yeah. And normally you wouldn't have to roll for that, right?
No.
How much AP is it?
1.
So I want double the AP and a die roll. But otherwise, yes.
Okay.
If that deal is
Interesting.
okay with you.
Yeah.
Very
let's
interesting.
do it. The flip side to Lucky.
I'm almost always willing to wheel and deal.
Now we're playing with Jason.
You let me out of my box.
And that's a 13.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm gonna
Rolling
repaint these.
good tonight.
Sorry. I just get like it's so beautiful that the numbers are light. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea.
I had a similar thing only with when we played Shadowrun a couple years ago on Happy Jacks. I bought this huge thing of black dice with white pips and took a Sharpie marker and colored in the 2, 3, 4 because they are meaningless in that game. And on like 100 dice,
Wow.
I colored in all
Yikes.
these pips. And it was so, because in Shadowrun you roll like 14, 15 dice sometimes.
Right.
And you want to just quickly see, are they 1s, are they 5s and 6s? Because that's success or fail. And it was just great because you could just roll them out and
Smart.
very quickly see for the game.
That's awesome.
It actually inspired me to do that for Blades in the Dark as well, so
Oh.
that I could immediately you could color code 6
Yeah.
as a success. This is
And
a
it's-
hard choice, or these didn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, 4 or 5 is the mid success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to play Blades sometime.
I mean,
Sounds like
we
fun.
kind of did.
Did we?
Ish.
Yeah, that was what.
Band of Blades is a Forged in the Dark game.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
If you could call what I did playing Blades in the Dark.
It was fun.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay, so
I Jasoned it.
I had a great time.
We liked
So,
it.
If that's what happens when people Jason things, I'll take it.
That's not a bad use of the name.
I get so mad when there's a Jason in the news fucking up and finding out. Like, God, you're messing it up for us, man.
Cut it out, Voorhees.
Yeah, no, Voorhees is fine. He's doing what he's doing what he does.
Healing the ship.
Okay. You got a 13. That's a success. 5, you said?
Yes.
All right. How much damage do you have on your track?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I've taken 3 damage.
Okay, let's heal that.
Okay.
And you definitely have this sensation of like something happening. And Lucky, I am gonna say you get a sense that like this is like something has aligned in this moment to allow you to do it, and it's not gonna be every time or
I kind of
Right.
feel like it's a balance thing to the death hand.
Yeah.
That like that there's a scale
Yeah.
somewhere
of
inside
leaving
me.
life and bringing life and
Mhm.
yeah. But I think Sal's form is so alien to you that's what makes it so strange and difficult and requires double the AP and you know pouring your energy into this. It's like pouring it into an inanimate object, but they're not quite inanimate, right? They're actually a person. So that's where you're like arguing with your shadow DM of like, no, but they're a person. It should work. It says a person. You know, so
I'm not no fancy lawyer.
so yeah, you managed to make some adjustments here. Some of the boards make this like, if you were to play the groaning and creaking reverse record, and that some of them snap back into place, not all of them, there's still some substantial holes in the hull. Your personal damage is healed, Sal, but the ship is still
Sure.
pretty banged up.
Okay.
But we've also seen what you can do with that on Ash's ship.
Mm.
And I thought about this earlier, and I just think it's worth noting, I did not forget that Ash was here. Ash did not come to the party.
Ash chose not to participate.
Yes. I did think about this earlier, and I just wanted to make a note of it.
I don't
Yeah.
I had no thought that Ash would.
That makes
why,
sense.
why would Ash be concerned
Well,
about this?
she's just across the other side of the dock. Like,
Yeah, but
What's in it for her?
well,
exactly. She gives
yeah.
0 fucks.
Yeah.
yes.
Looking out for number one,
Yep.
which is
I can respect that.
understandable considering Ash is still under enemy control.
Yep.
Well, no, she's under her own control, but
Allowing them to
proceeding
believe.
would be
Mhm.
the,
I mean, in enemy territory.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And it would be a challenge for Ash to just like
right.
eject everyone from the ship and run for it. So
Ash also started the conversation with, "Oh, you're the one who's fucking it up for
Yeah.
all of us."
yeah.
So I think that like if Sal went away,
Mm.
then Ash wouldn't really care.
That is a fair assessment.
Ooh.
Okay, so the Kraken is, I think retreat is the wrong term, Wall,
Mhm.
but it's also not, like, it is sort of rearranging itself, and you can see the like shriveled up arm
Yeah.
tentacle and the cut tentacle and the others that have just been poked
Mhm.
and stabbed, and there's a lot of blood in the water.
Mhm.
And you see just like one lonely shark comes
Mm.
like, what's going on over?
Mhm.
Nope.
Mhm.
Never mind.
Mhm.
Not that interested.
Mhm.
I smell never mind.
Yep. Yep.
No. Thank you. On my way.
Nice.
And so it is also not, it's sort of like ignoring you.
Mhm.
It's not like defending itself from you, but it's also not coming after you. It's like, it's not doing the like Noptopus
Mhm.
meme.
Mhm.
With what legs it has left.
Yeah. Well, it's got most of them. Like 6 that essentially function. Just 2 really bad ones.
It's probably in a lot of pain regardless.
Yes, yeah, it is, and it's clear that it's kind
Wall
of
is
writhing a little bit, and it would be tricky to go get Doc, only because I'm treating it like a
Mm.
hazard now. It's like an environmental hazard,
Mhm.
but it is not actively tracking you
Okay.
unless you go after it again.
Okay.
Like it would see you come,
Right.
defend itself, but
Wall is going to make meaningful eye contact and very intently think and hopefully pass the vibe along. There are too few of us left in this world. Let us both live. And without stopping to check if the vibe check went through, Wall's gonna slowly, non-aggressively just go toward Doc.
okay. I'm gonna. I have to cut away from that for a second before I tell you what's happening. What else is happening?
Well, if we're under the water here,
Are you under the water?
We're on top of the
like as soon as I grab the weapon,
Oh,
diving
yes.
back down.
Okay, and you can see Wall, and you can see Wall's trajectory is not the Kraken, and when you adjust, you can see, oh, there's Doc down there, laying on the bottom. So before we get to you as well, then let's check in with Thurdo. Sorry, I know it annoys
Have it
you.
No, it annoys third.
Okay.
Courtney thinks it's hilarious.
Okay, because I think I'm very clever, and I'm not that clever, but I laugh at my own jokes. So
Yes, I am the same way. He can't really do anything to help like the combat situation, so I think he's just gonna keep working on
yeah,
patching up the ship so they don't sink.
yeah. I think
That's pretty
Danny
much
and
what I can
Tarina join you.
Yeah.
Kotil and Mage Harper are trying to fix stuff above decks,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, the three of you are.
Does Danny know about his mom? Did
Mm,
he?
I don't think explicitly. He didn't
But
see
you
her
did-
get grabbed.
Right, but you told us. Did you guys tell us the dog
I
got
haven't
pulled
said
over?
anything yet.
I don't.
Sal's a little
Uh,
preoccupied.
I mean, Wall did at some point. It's like, he has Doc.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so if
so
you
you
told
would have heard
us-
that.
I will relay this to Danny.
Yeah.
Danny, do you think you can go help Wall get her? Because you're the only one who can breathe
Oh
underwater.
yeah. I mean, I just figured they'd get her. I'm sure she's fine.
I don't know. I can't see underwater.
Oh shoot! Neither, and they can't breathe.
But your mom can, right?
Yeah. But I should. You're right. I should go
Go
check.
look for her.
And
I'll take
and
care of things
he
up
just
here.
runs at the porthole and like
Spoosh.
yeah. He's good at that part. He's
I've helped
awkward
him.
at a lot of things in life, but
Good at diving, yes. I've helped by sending you an ally. There we go. Back to patch.
so yeah. Danny is ripping through the
Cutting
water
through the
there. Yeah.
Um,
So
And now
Lucky.
that, I've done what I can by arguing with the gods, I am going to say, it's like, oh, well, did you think you were going down there alone?
okay. So you're going in after
Yeah.
Wall. All right.
Deep breath and down.
Okay. Great. So most of us are underwater.
It's an underwater level.
Again.
Okay.
Okay. So I think Wall is probably the first one down to dock.
Okay.
Does that seem accurate?
I'm not heading to dock, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's the vibe with the Kraken and everything?
It's watching you.
Okay.
But it has like where it was sort of like hovered over dock.
Mm-hmm.
It's backed up a little bit,
Okay.
but it's also not like
Yeah.
leaving.
Right.
So-
that's fine.
It's maybe deciding like, do I still have a chance at food? Like,
Mhm.
what's going on here?
Mhm.
But also like, why did it pick that ship?
Right.
We may never know. But when you reach dock, what was the move you just used a minute ago?
Declare or
No, after that,
wild attack?
the wild attack and declare. I thought you did
But
something
weren't
else.
you using a move to commune with the Kraken?
Oh, I mean, I have the move Soul Gaze.
Yeah. Can you read that for me?
My eyes turn black like shimmering gateways to eternity. As you peer into the eyes of a nearby creature, they become momentarily transfixed by your gaze, and then I roll to see what the result is.
Okay.
I wasn't doing that, but I can do that.
Well, you don't need to. I'm applying like passive gaze
Mm-hmm.
to as you get closer to dock, it seems like she's gone. And you're realizing this is a thing you should be able to see in her. In that you didn't know you could see it until it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't think of a recent time
Right.
where Wall has seen somebody who's passed.
Right.
So,
Oh, and I just sent Danny down.
Wall continues.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna get in close and check for sure. And
Oh,
Just-
I'm recovering,
okay.
Doc, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. Danny's probably gonna catch up to you pretty quickly, but not before whatever it is you were doing, Sal.
Yeah, I'm swimming back down towards the eye again because I don't think Sal has fully realized that they're not being grappled any longer.
Sure. Yeah.
So I come down. I'm going to try and stab the eye again and shout, "Let me go!"
Okay. And this is are you throwing the spear or you're just driving it home?
I'm trying to drive it home.
Okay. Do you have any particular moves you're using
Nope.
with that? Okay.
I don't have any AP anyway.
We're gonna roll with disadvantage. You're welcome. Oh, that's right.
Underwater
Well, some
physics.
some moves don't require AP.
Yeah. 4, so that's a
Ooh.
failure.
Well, some would say failure.
You fail your intended attack and face a setback of the guide's choice.
So as I mentioned, this thing was watching
Mm.
as it was like not retreating, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of in a more defensive posture. And as you come down, it lets you get close to its eye and then turns
Mm.
to like get an armored plate in front of the spear that sort of twists in your hands. And I don't think you have to lose the spear, but it gets around so its beak is just chomp around your middle.
Mm.
And you've not chomped in half or anything, but like
Right.
Mm.
it is trying. Like if you were a human, you'd be chomped in half.
Right.
But you're not meat, so it's also like chomp, like what is in my mouth? It hasn't let you go, but it's like chomp and then release and then like just holding. What did I bite on?
Mm.
Have you ever like accidentally bitten your fork?
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's like that. So,
Damage?
well, it's only 2,
Okay.
but you're trapped,
Mm.
grappled or whatever.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
good thing I don't need to breathe.
yeah. And this isn't a huge problem, but it's behind, like you're facing away from it,
Okay.
right? Like you can see it, like you know you can. You're
Right,
not
obviously.
stuck,
but I can't.
Mm.
yeah. You can try to like stab behind you. That's not impossible. I'm not saying like you can't attack it. I'm just setting the
Sure.
stage.
Sounds good.
And you all see this, like, I think the size of this Kraken makes the speed of its movement shocking
Mm.
as it, like, dips and flips to grab Sal on its underside. Lucky, you dove in.
Mm-hmm.
You see this happen. What are you doing? And you can still see, Wall is almost to dock. What do you want to do?
Okay. I think at this point, I am going to trust that I've done what I can for Sal and that they can handle themselves and go for Doc
Okay.
with Sal or with Wall.
Okay.
Because, yeah, my first instinct is going to go for the non-moving party.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have any issue with Danny swimming past you?
That makes sense.
That he could swim
Yeah.
faster than
Person?
you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the
Mhm.
same page there.
Fish person not currently encased in his own coral.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Going after his mother.
Yeah.
Compared to a
Um,
cat in water, which is just your
Yeah.
natural enemy.
I mean, just know, but leopards are like real in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, bad time.
Yeah. It is. I've seen videos of leopards like, woo!
Yeah, but I thought you were a tiger.
I don't remember now. It's been too long.
I think that did come up at some point. Well, anyway.
Anyway.
I mean, like, this is where the person side is like,
Mm.
I may not like this, but I'm gonna do it.
So Danny swims up next to you about the same time,
Mm.
and he speaks in a way that's very easy to understand.
Right.
Right? He just
Right.
speaks out loud, and you can hear him. He's like, "Okay, let's get her back up to the ship." He doesn't like clock that there's
Yeah.
no
Mhm.
response. What do you want to do?
I pass Doc over to him and just point up.
Okay. So when he takes her, I'm gonna roll. Because I can't decide whether he sees this. Yeah, I think mixed result is the best reason for him to see this.
Mm.
In that you hand her over,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't have any problem moving her through the water, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not like
yeah.
she's too heavy or something. That's not a thing. But he looks like almost drops her because he's shocked,
Mm-hmm.
and looks at you, and you could just tell, like, he doesn't have the words to ask you, is she alive? But
Yeah.
you can see it
Yeah.
in his face.
I put my hand around the back of his head. I close my eyes, and then I open them again, and then I point up.
Okay. We'll pause there.
Need to get air soon, too.
Let's see. Well, I guess everyone's done a thing. I'm going to attack Sal.
Okay. Did you do something?
I'm
Oh.
just repairing the hole in the ship until something else inspires me.
Okay. Oh, wow. Huh. A mixed success. I think it is just so confused by what it's chewing on. It doesn't eat logs. You know, it's like the texture's wrong and there's no blood and, you know.
Do you want to say 2 more damage, but it spits me out?
Um,
Because I get to offer you a tough choice, right?
yeah. I'd say it's 1 damage and you're still grappled, or 2 and you break free.
Let's do the latter. I'll
Okay.
take 2 and break free.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that extra damage is you like
Wrenching
gouging a
myself.
furrow
Mm.
down your back as it, you know, because its beak is so sharp and like, you know, stony looking.
So I don't know if anyone clocks this, but Sal doesn't react when they're hurt the way that they react when the ship is hurt.
Mmm.
Sure.
Mmm.
Okay, I like that. Oh, the camera
That's kinda
definitely
cool.
gets that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For the audience.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
I like that. Okay, so let's cut right back to Sal then. I want to know what you're doing.
It's still floating there.
Mm-hmm. And it's like it's a little bit more aggressive toward you. Like it's gonna do something.
Sure.
It's like figuring you out and you heard it, right? So
I don't think that Sal the ship has been in danger like this before.
probably not.
Mm.
Like in a storm, sure. You know, in
You've never been in danger of sinking, like
Right.
literally sinking.
right. And so I don't think,
I think you've probably torn a sail, maybe cracked a mast,
yeah,
maybe.
Mm.
but never something like this.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Sal has clocked what's going on for Doc or anything else yet.
Yeah.
And so I think they are going to swim back in and try and attack again. Sal is not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sal's, enraged
Okay.
by this. So do you want disadvantage again?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't matter because those are both failures, a 3 and a 4.
That's rude. That is rude of your dice. Although I would say it's also rude to get like a 20 and a 4.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would, right. That's more insulting. This
Yeah.
is just like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is telling me I need to bring dice from home and not stick with the
Yeah.
studio dice. Because Stork might have touched them.
Yeah. My favorite
Oh.
D&D
They're entangled.
Yeah.
disadvantage moment was like I can't remember, something critical was happening. I got like a 17 and an 18 on disadvantage. It was like, well, here we
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
I'll take that 17. Thank you and good night.
Remind me to tell a story at the end of the show.
Will
about
do.
that.
So, yeah, Sal, that's not good. It's not a 1.
Do you want to just flick me out of the way again?
No, I don't.
Don't swallow me?
Maybe.
Sal as toothpick. Beat pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
You're down the gullet and it's real dark.
Okay.
I don't want to get too graphic about the insides of this thing, but like
Hmm.
Right, because
fortunately you don't have to breathe.
it doesn't bug me, but it could squick some people
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So.
that's why I'm it's not like a line for me personally, but just
Yeah.
in politeness to our
Mm.
listeners.
Right.
But I think it's worth noting that the like crushing aspect is different because of the makeup of your body. You don't have to breathe. You're a little bit more sturdy. Just by the nature of your build. So that's why, like, a human being swallowed by this thing would be dead in seconds. Just done, right? So that is a difference.
Okay.
Lucky, you're swimming up where you can see Wall handing Doc to Danny, and they're having some kind of exchange, and you can hear Danny like say something. I don't know if you could hear it precisely as you're catching up to them, but you see.
I feel like I've seen that expression before.
Yeah, and when Wall kind of like dips his head, you're like, uh-oh. Any sort of like initial response before I get to Danny's response?
I think. No, I'm gonna let him have his moment.
Okay. So you nod for Danny to go up,
Mm-hmm.
and Danny pushes her back into your arms,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of swims along the bottom, drags his hand through some coral, and comes up with a like 10-foot long spear of coral, just unnaturally forming in his hand, and he jets towards the Kraken.
I'm going to be in front of him, holding his mother.
Okay,
Can you swim
So-
that fast?
Yeah.
trying to
Holding your
outswim
body.
Danny
Mhm.
will require a supernatural effort on your part.
I'm
in
going to
some way.
soul gaze Danny.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, is there a die roll with that one?
There is an AP and a die roll.
Okay, and I think that talks about having eye contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm okay not having eye contact because he's swimming away from you, but it's AP, it's a die roll. I'm fine with
Okay.
that. And it's because you two know each other intimately. You can
Okay.
see into his soul from here.
That is a 1.
Oh,
Oh
They resist my invasion and they glimpse my thoughts.
okay. Well then I need to know honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like without the protections and
Mhm.
facade and everything,
Mm-hmm.
what is Wall actually feeling about Doc's passing?
I failed again,
Okay. Yeah,
and I can't fail anymore today.
yeah. And I think Danny is not in a place where he can intellectually understand that he's writing your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
but you see,
Oh fuck.
and Lucky, you see this happen too, as Danny is like rushing off with this spear, right? You see Danny's like grip on the spear shift. It like widens, twists. It becomes a professional
Mm.
halberdier's grip.
Mm.
The set of the shoulders. It's just the fact that he's kicking through the water much more adeptly than Wall does. But from the waist up, it is like the embodiment of Wall.
Yeah, that's a Palace Guard stance.
Yeah. And he just speeds up towards the Kraken. So,
I would like at this point. Danny has given up his mother to Wall, but I'm gonna go to his mother. And I would like to use with my commune with the dead
okay.
with my last AP.
And what does that say?
If you are aware of one or more spectral creatures nearby, like ghosts, you may communicate with them. You do not need to be able to see a spirit as long as you have sense its presence, like with the death sense spell. You may have a conversation with the spirits for up to a minute, and you communicate with them telepathically.
Okay.
You must share a language to understand each other. They must want to respond.
I'm open to the idea that it says you have to be aware that there's something. I think it's good enough you'd be like, well, she just died. She's probably lingering.
Yes,
Right,
that is my
so-
assumption.
I think that's fair. You probably don't have to roll anything for
No,
that, right?
no.
You just pay your AP.
Mhm.
Okay. when you do so,
I mean, technically, I have like death sense, so that's a 0 AP. So I can sense whether any remnants of the dead spirit creatures are nearby.
okay. So yeah, when you get close, you realize that like she is nearby. She is dead, but she's actually like still sort of like clinging to her body. Like she hasn't fully left her body yet. She's dead by all, what any sort of external measurement would show, but she has not left her body. So when you get to her, well, let's see, you were trying to swim after Danny, but I think maybe you ended up letting Doc kind of drift because you got lost in the haze, and you go to grab Doc. I mean, she wasn't like plummeting or, it's just, you just go in to swoop her up as you see, like,
I feel like this
Wall
is like,
has lost it a little bit.
like as she comes out, it's more of like a vertical position.
Yeah.
So I can take her hands.
Yes, I love that. And you just see, as she's drifting, I think we said the fish people had like just solid black eyes anyway. But you see this almost like almost like inkiness coming out from it, maybe like tears. But you can see essentially she is looking at you. She's not like moving or responding or anything, but yeah, you have her attention, as this power should let you do. Any initial thoughts? Obviously, a lot of stuff's happening really quickly.
And this is where, like, I am the ambassador. And it's your choice. But you gain nothing by clinging to this flesh that serves you no more.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that. Sal, you've got one action before your D -1. Danny -1 action. So, what are you doing as you struggle?
I'm going to try and brace myself and grab on as best I can so I don't get fully swallowed.
Okay.
Like I'm imagining if I'm in whatever throat there is,
Sure.
that's where I'm trying to
Sort of
not be in the belly.
Just
not be
lodge in the
gullet.
gullet.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a regular roll, no disadvantage.
Okay.
Try sticking your spear in and pulling yourself out.
I'm imagining that I don't have the spear any longer. But
I don't mind either way. I
Okay.
thought you did have it, so
Okay.
it's up to you.
Well, yeah, I'll use that as a bracing as well.
Okay.
17.
Okay. How would you feel about getting that spear lodged in the beak, sort of like cartoon style?
Sure.
Not silly, but
Right,
you
I
know
understand
what
what you mean.
I think there's a spot where like the beak is then stuck,
Okay.
right?
Like stuck open?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's enough, like you're pretty stuck in there, but you can see Danny coming. So that's
Okay.
worth noting.
Sounds
I
great.
think.
Like it.
And I don't think there's anything to stop him from just stabbing this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll for Danny. Oh, buddy,
Oh no.
that's a 4.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so he just comes, like a freight train. No, I don't. I was thinking, like, should he get an advantage from Wall's visage? But I don't think so. Yeah, so he comes in and, really, Coral makes a terrible handheld weapon. And it twists in his hands, and his hands are bloodied. And he does kind of stab this thing, but not in a way that's substantial at all. And one of its good tentacles snaps around and grabs him and is just squeezing. I think also over the comms, third, in case you can hear Danny, because Danny can talk underwater, and you can hear his like, no, and then him like like struggling noises.
Okay.
So however you want to deal with that, it's fine.
He, because we haven't mentioned this in a while, he looks at Harper. Says, Harper, do something.
Yeah, well, Mage and Koto were up above decks, like fixing stuff,
Okay.
and
They
you
were
know,
And he'll go
Reinforcing.
upstairs.
yeah.
Harper, do something.
It's a Kraken. What do you want me to do?
You have magic. Do magic stuff. I don't know.
It's underwater.
Dive into the water.
So I'll kill everyone. And he like pulls a lightning bolt with like electricity between his hands. Like everyone will die.
There's like,
I don't know. You saw a lightning bolt strike the water in the Kraken earlier, and not everyone died.
That's true.
You were the only one in the water, and we don't know that you didn't kill Doc.
all right.
Well,
Okay. So
I think that's his initial reaction. It's like, given his specialty, he knows not to
Right.
stand in puddles.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
goes. Make sure the ship isn't sinking anymore. Takes off his coat. Takes off his boots. Pulls out the dagger and goes, "You want blood? Fine. Let's go get you some blood." He will jump overboard.
Find it pushing the boat too far.
Also, just for the record, I do think Portina has mostly been hiding because she is still young.
Right.
Right,
That's,
like-
that's legit.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think in cat form and is like behind some barrels and is like,
Good.
If I'm here, nothing can see me.
Good
Right.
girl.
And she's not actually that well hidden, but it doesn't matter. Her whole rear end is sticking out from behind the barrel.
Perfect.
Placebo.
Not
Yeah,
Perfect.
very good hiding place.
Protect the head. That's all you need.
Yep. I just wanted to note that like she's not gonna jump in the water and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, that's just wild.
We need to stop jumping overboard. We need to have a meeting after this.
I'm gonna post signs all along my.
They're trying
Following my
so long
deck.
to not jump overboard, but y'all are taking too long.
I mean, you say that, but like, learned it from watching you, Dad.
Yeah. All right, third. When you jump in the water, you have the. It doesn't ask you in words per se, but you know the like whispering, you know, suggestion of this. And I don't want to. I use the word compulsion, but as we established last time, it is not. It absolutely is under Third's will to like stab or not to stab. So when I say that, it like really is that suggestion. But you can feel it seeking, and it's like, no, those are your friends. Those are your friends. Like it is like a little confused. What is your state of mind?
He's very clearly thinking, Kraken, things are going bad.
Okay.
Gotta do something to help my friends.
Okay.
And he literally said, "You want blood? I'll give you blood." So he's going
Yeah.
down with the intent of stabbing a Kraken.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. Then when you establish like that is what I'm gonna kill. You can feel yourself infused with just you're invigorated. And please take 3 AP
Okay.
or restore 3 AP, not health, but
Okay.
AP.
Yep.
Do you have 3 AP
yeah.
to
Oh,
restore?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, actually, there's no maximum. I forgot. You can go over
Really?
with AP.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. HP has a maximum.
Yeah.
And you also are, for all intents and purposes, an expert swimmer in this scenario.
Okay.
So,
I still need air to breathe.
well,
We'll find out.
Oh,
you
Okay.
are holding your breath, and it feels like you can hold it a long time.
it's that adrenaline. He's sure it's just the adrenaline.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Am I making an attack this round, or do I have to wait till next round?
I think there's enough going on that you probably could,
Okay.
you know, in all the time that you were catching up. And yeah, for the sake of story, I think you've got Sal trying to get out of the beak. We've got,
I see them there.
and you can see Danny tangled up, getting squeezed. So I think you probably have to choose. If you go and get like under the beak, it would probably like squawk open, you know, and spit out Sal. Or you could go for the tentacle, and you could probably get it to release Danny.
Fandra's brain working. I think I'm gonna go for Sal because I'm
Okay.
hoping that maybe if I hurt it enough, it will have a moment of
Sure.
not squeezing Danny.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's closer to the head,
Yes.
you know, wants to protect.
Yeah, I mean, it is its head, really. It's,
Right.
you know.
I tried to stab in the head.
Yeah. Okay. Let's roll an
See what
attack.
happens.
Closer to the brain, I meant.
Sure,
'Cause, you know,
sure.
Oh. Ooh, that's a 16.
Okay. Now, what did we say the damage for the dagger was?
I don't know if we did because I haven't attacked with it yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most knives are like 2
me too.
harm.
Oh crap! It's a healing dagger.
If only.
Um,
I'm trying to see if I have any notes in it, but I don't.
okay. I think
I don't think we established that.
as if it was just a, you know,
pokey bit.
pounded metal in the shape of a leaf, it would do 2 harm.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say it's 2 harm times the amount of AP you want to put into it.
Oh, I like that idea. Because otherwise, I don't have anything I don't have any special like attack moves, so that
Yeah.
would be cool.
And this comes with further story as well when you put
Nice.
AP into this thing.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
You just got
But
3
not-
free AP.
Yes. But it's not like super dire emotional yet, 'cause he doesn't know Doc's dead. So we'll do 2 AP into
Okay.
that.
So do
So
4
4
harm.
damage. Mhm.
Okay. Great. 4 harm with a knife is like
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Yeah, that's like explosives do 4 harm. Stuff like that.
Dang, okay.
Um,
That's only 1 AP, right? Because it does 2 plus.
the two-
No,
Twice.
it's 2 times damage.
oh, right.
So,
But it does 2
Uh,
as a base.
Yeah, let's say
oh,
yeah, because then your first AP is worthless.
Right.
right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
How about we do 2 damage per, like you get 2 damage flat plus 2 damage
okay,
for every
plus
AP.
Mm.
So if you want to
AP
spend,
damage plus 2.
yeah.
It's like a D&D weapon.
So is that
So it would be 6 in this case.
6? Yeah.
A what? We don't play that game here.
My contract says.
D&D.
I'm
Never
sorry, I'll
heard
show
of it.
myself out.
That actually puts us over a threshold that I've noted. And you have to make a decision
Okay.
because you jam this knife up into the soft part of it near the beak, and you feel it leaching something from the Kraken. Like truly taking its life. And if you want to commit to this, you can take the Kraken's life in this moment.
Fandris likes efficiency. Yes, let's.
Okay.
And Courtney likes stories. So
All right.
let's do it.
The knife sinks the rest of, I think you end up like wrist deep, you know, in this mess.
Fish guts.
And it doesn't shrivel up or blacken or anything, but it does just go still in the water. There's a moment where it like twitches and you can get out of the mouth, and Danny gets free as the tentacle goes limp. I mean, he looks like he's pretty injured, but he's moving, you know, and can swim. He's not just like falling back into the water, or down through the water.
I would think that they're pretty resistant to crushing pressure because depth of
Deep
the ocean.
divers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's different from like
Oh,
flow pressure
physical,
versus
yeah. that's
from
true.
like
Squeezing.
kinetic
That's true.
squeezing is specific versus
Sure,
like
sure, sure.
all around pressure. But also they don't live at like 100 leagues, you know.
But they're probably more resistant than your average person.
Certainly, yeah. They don't have any problem at like 30, 40 feet. Like that's no issue. So,
Well, people don't either. But
well, depends on the, you know, like you
But
need
for
to,
the point of the story.
yes,
yeah, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Like,
We'll save it for the setting book.
Look, I'm a tangent.
I just missed my mouth.
that was amazing.
Hey,
Jason, you
put
have
the
a
water
dr- do
bottle
you have
to
a
my
drinking
mouth,
problem?
and then it went to the side,
Mm.
and I rolled a 1.
It's okay. We'll leave the entire grenade. So.
All right.
At
We'll
least,
fix it. We'll
yeah.
fix it in post.
That's
yeah.
always my thing. Like, well, at least nobody saw.
I'm gonna clip that tonight.
Oh yeah, let me mark that. Marker in here.
That was special. What a special moment in my streaming history. Hey,
I feel good because I'm not the only one now.
it's an underwater episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely like just.
I've absolutely done that as well.
But also, as you remove the blade, the shape of it has changed a little bit, and I think it's much better to call it like Bowie knife sized. Still certainly like a long, a little bit more like a fern leaf shape, but double edged and just a bigger knife than it was before.
Okay.
So, and the Kraken is slowly drifting to the bottom of the ocean.
I'm gonna swim to the surface because I'm just a little elf who can't breathe
It
underwater.
needs some air, yeah. Wall and Lucky are also probably needing air.
I am in communion with Doc at the moment,
Right.
so I'm gonna ignore that.
Okay. Air's for suckers. Get it? Well,
I thought Kraken was for suckers.
no, suckers are for Kraken.
Oh, right.
Wall's gonna stay nearby, Lucky, and he's just staring at Doc.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of take us out of the bullet time of combat, if that's all right with everyone. I don't know what you would keep fighting if you're not okay with
Our
it.
emotions, Jason.
Yes. Roll for initiative.
At disadvantage.
Yeah. I'll tank your feelings.
My nemesis, emotions.
We meet again. I thought never to see thee again.
When last we met,
Yeah.
now I am the master.
Okay, so
Only a master of depression.
all right, so you are sort of making contact with Doc. You're looking on, and I think, well, also from your point of view, you can see Lucky. I think this is happening behind Lucky, right? So you, you see Third like make this tremendous stab. You see the life go out of this thing, and you've seen them hunted before. It doesn't seem super it's not like something mystical just
Right,
happened. It doesn't
right.
look like it.
Yeah.
But you see Lucky Third swim down out of nowhere, jab this knife in there, and just go back up to the surface as this thing is like sinking dead to the ocean floor. As
What else am I gonna do?
Sal, climbs out
You
of
found
the
the
beak.
exhaust port.
Yeah, it's only 2 meters wide. And Danny gets loose and sees that the thing is dead and is like coming back over to you and the three of you. I'm putting air quotes around three. He's swimming a little slower. It looks like he's injured. You can see like he's holding his ribs, but swimming back towards you, the coral spear is gone. But he's kind of making his way back. Sal, what are you doing?
I'm sticking around to see that it is, in fact, dead. And
Okay.
I'm also feeling like the state of the ship So I'm taking an assessment
Oh, sure.
of making sure it's gone, making sure the ship is
Yeah.
that my ship part is going okay, that I'm not in danger of sinking.
You know what? Roll a kind of a perception for me.
5. I have no idea.
Actually,
definitely touch this.
Yeah.
well, I'd like to interpret that as a panic,
Okay.
and that you have to get back to the ship
Okay. I
and
love it.
start repairs,
Okay.
which you can do. Like you know how to, the magical manipulation kind that you did
Right.
for Ash. So, what?
-1 AP. I don't think that's gonna work, but I
Alright.
don't think Sal knows
Oh.
that.
I don't know what you're talking
It's-
about.
It's the grin of ooh story.
Okay, so yeah, you are basically following third back up to the ship, and that's fine. So that's that scene. So for the rest of you down here with Danny and Doc, Pooja, tell me again what Lucky was saying.
Lucky is going from, badass combat mode to I am the ambassador of the Shadowlands,
Hmm.
and it will not serve you to leash yourself, or it will not serve you to chain yourself to your dead flesh. You have a choice to make now.
She says, and while you can hear this in sort of an echoey way, like
Mhm.
it's in another room,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of like the flavor of a LaCroix, right? It's the nature of her voice.
Yeah.
But
Wild berry.
yeah, but you can hear her clearly, Lucky. And she says, "Fuck off. I'm not ready to go." I mean, she's not moving her body. I'm just sort of gesturing because I can't not.
No, but her spirit is there.
Yeah.
And her spirit, I am there with her spirit.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see more of her spirit than her body
Yeah.
at the moment.
And it's almost like she is holding on to her body to like hold herself in it. Is kind of the best description, I think. And Danny's not quite back, but it's moving a little slow.
You don't have to go. You don't have to go. But this has no use for you anymore.
I'm not done. My son needs me.
Your physical presence is never what he needed.
This is not her reaction. That's just me being like, shit, that's good.
The embodiment is not the heart. The flesh is not the connection.
Okay, so let's do a little bit of lore building. Because I think normally when somebody passes over, if they're going to come back as a ghost, they have to like go through customs, get their passport, and then they can, like Arjun, like died, went through customs,
Got a job.
signed their papers, did everything they're supposed to do, established residency, and
Filed with the Ghost IRS.
Yeah.
I'd be a big flippant, but I think that's kind of the normal process is like, if somebody's going to come back and haunt, it's either they don't know that they're dead or whatever, but they're stuck there for a little while and then they can come back. And Arjun has special permission to like be your attendant, and that sort of thing. So I think the two of you, and while this is like information that's like oh, she's not allowed to just stay,
Mm.
right? There has to be like either you have to, like quote unquote, write her a note. Like you have to create special dispensation, which is on you if something goes bad. Like there could be a problem. I don't think Wall is authorized to do that, but you are. And then she kind of has to be in your, I use the word service. Not like a servant, right? You understand what I mean,
Now
right?
she's part of my retinue now.
Yes. And you're responsible for what she does and what happens. Or she has to go for a while and then see if she wants to come back. But a lot of times when people pass, they either just sort of drift into the depths of the Shadowlands and truly pass away, or they get involved in embassy life, or, whatever. But it's not a guarantee that she would come back. Like, she might actually just sort of let go and
Mm-hmm.
be gone.
I also feel like there's like a level of like almost fugitive ghost.
Probably, yeah.
Because I deal with a lot of ghosts. Like my family's dealt with a lot of ghosts, even outside of the embassy. There are people who have decided or have a thing or have like, it's that unfinished business level.
Yeah, and there are also people trying to cheat death.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to die. Well, they can't see me. And then, got
Yeah.
them.
And so like there are all those layers of, but also that like in a way that the reason why my family works for the embassy so often is because they are like rounding up all of these like fugitive ghosts.
Sure.
And then we help them like move on either by dealing with their business or through other means.
Dispersing
Um,
if they're troublemakers.
Yeah. But my intention in this is to say, like, in this position, that I can offer you an alternative.
Okay.
That you can stay with us now. You can stay with him now. But you have to let go of this body.
And I think this is the perfect time for Danny to come up next to you as well. I'm like, what are you saying? No, just save her. I've seen you heal people. Just save her. And she's like a little bit drifted out for a moment. Like you've said this to her and it's like a big thing and she's not totally like interacting with Danny yet. So, and he can't really hear her. So how do you react to Danny?
Every death has its time.
Well, it's not hers.
And it's not always when we are ready for it. But these are the choices. These are the prices we pay.
But she didn't do anything wrong. She doesn't deserve this.
No one does. But we all... You get what everyone gets. A life.
That's a lot of words to say on one breath.
Oh.
And I'm telepathically speaking with...
Yeah, with
With her.
Doc,
with
at
her,
least.
with
But-
Danny, yeah.
But I'm ignoring Danny in a way
Yeah.
to say, I know it's not fair. I know you don't want to, but you don't have to go if you let go.
Okay. I think you've made a very good case. I'd like you to roll with advantage, because I don't feel like I can just straight up decide for her. So I'd love to leave it up to the dice.
13.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted her to do, but I
Mm.
just needed it to be a little bit of fate there. So she looks at you and she says, "You know, he'll still be my number one priority."
As it should be.
Fuck it. And you can feel her, like, she kind of relaxes, and you're still holding her hands as her body drifts away, and Danny is distraught, and no, like,
Can I wreck on that a little bit?
oh sure, yeah,
And say that as she lets go, that I'm still holding her hands
Okay.
and her body drifts away.
well, yeah, that's what I meant. Is her
Oh,
body is
sorry.
drifting away. You have her spectral hands.
I thought it was the other way around.
Mm.
So
No. You have her spectral hands as her
Mhm.
physical body drifts away, and Danny goes to grab her, and
and I lean in and kiss her on the forehead.
okay, are you okay with that making her sort of semi-visible to everyone right now?
That is my intent. So yay!
Okay, all right. Yeah, so there's a moment where you're trying to get Danny's attention, and he looks and he sees Ghost Mom, and is really like distraught. But I also think we have to be at the point where Wall and Lucky are like really starting to, obviously you can't be gasping, but
But the black is coming in.
Spots in
Yeah.
the eyes.
and Danny like sees the ghost, and he takes a deep breath and sighs, and he just says, "Go up, I'll be there in a minute," and he goes down to like retrieve the body, but so we'll head back up. All right. Is it okay if we skip ahead to everyone back on the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing we need to do is what's happening with your mystical repairs.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah. I'd like you to roll with disadvantage, please.
That's fantastic.
And this roll potentially can reset you to 0 AP,
Okay.
depending on what happens.
Disadvantage 9.
Mm.
No, that's not the reset.
I didn't think so, but I'm actually happy with that.
Yeah,
I don't
and-
think it should be that easy.
And a mixed success is you actually do manage to repair some of the damage, right? If you went out to sea right now with a little bit of bailing and, just management, you could get going. You wouldn't be able to go full speed.
Right.
But you've got the important parts of the hull. It's just some of the upper areas are still cracked. So, medium success.
Okay. Fantastic.
And everyone is gathered, I think, below decks at this point. There's still like a lot of running and shouting, and nobody's, totally sure what's going on the dock. They also don't know that there's a dead mature Kraken on the bottom of the ocean right now below them. If they did know, there would be a mad race.
Yeah.
So that's worth noting
It'd
as
be an
well.
ink rush.
But Danny has, I think, wrapped his mother's body in seaweed, let's say, and placed her in a part of the hold that he's kind of like laid out for her.
Can we say that he sank her into a
Oh, into the
Coral.
coral?
Mm.
into a coral coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was also thinking about whether he would need to take her home. But I think the coral is better. Yeah, I think that's...
That she could still be on the ship, but like
Yeah.
instead of wrapped in seaweed, she's wrapped in coral.
Oh!
Like
Oh, I
encased
see.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I was going to offer maybe if we didn't get all the water out of the ship so she can rest.
Yeah, or the coral is watertight. Like, it's his first, like, really successful coral sing.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like a sarcophagus.
I'm feeling for him, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we bring that back up into the hold, and yep. But I think that's probably going to be happening over a period of time. And, Danny does want to just be alone. But he's actually there with his mom, like underwater, the ghost mom. And the two of them are, watching over as the coral grows. And, but yeah, they kind of want to do that on their own. So I need to check in with what you all want to do, particularly about the big dead Kraken.
Well, before they get to that, I think when Third gets back on the ship, sees the others, comes up. Goes, where's Doc and Danny? Where's Doc and Danny?
I mean, Danny had some things to deal with. And Doc has changed.
I really don't need you speaking to me like I'm a child right now, Lucky.
It's hard to explain, but the mortal coil is gone. But Doc is still here.
Sorry, I almost had a moment of him being like, Danny died? No. Takes him a second to register what you're saying. And he looks kind of shocked and kind of looks away from you. And Danny?
How does anyone process grief?
He just kind of turns away and kicks whatever object is near him.
And kind of just like in the barest of whisper to Third's back. It's like, I did everything I could.
He nods. Like, he understands.
Third, I need to know how you respond to the whispers. When they say, you saved them both. You're a hero.
He pulls the knife off his belt. Forgive me for this. He says, "Shut up, Audrey!" And he throws it across the room, and he knows it's just going to come back.
You can throw it into the ocean if you want.
No, he enjoys the sound of it just hitting the wall.
Okay.
As if he's hurting the knife.
Okay.
But he knows it's just going to come back.
Is the knife named Audrey now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I think there might be a joke I don't get.
Oh.
Unless it's Audrey too.
Well, it's a leaf that wants blood.
Yep.
So yes.
Okay, that's very good.
Thank you.
So good.
Okay. Does any of that hero talk get passed into Third's mind? Okay.
He hears it, but
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want none of your shit right now. My
Okay.
friend just died.
Yeah, and
Fuck
it
off.
is wild. Like, I even hesitated to have that moment, but then Audrey is not polite.
Audrey doesn't have social skills.
Yeah,
No.
Audrey doesn't.
No. Read the
no
room.
sense of decorum. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Just needed to
No, I
establish
appreciate
that.
that.
Because Audrey's had a great day. Okay, so what else do we need to establish?
I need to grab a paper towel. I'll be right back.
Oh, did you miss your mouth too?
No, but I accidentally I drilled
Oh.
some coffee on the keyboard, and I'd like to take care of it before I ruin it.
Oh, that's good for the keyboard.
That's what I've heard.
It perks it up.
Yep. Well, you have
Mhm.
experience with downed Krakens,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Some disconnected, disjointed memories of
Mm-hmm.
how to break down a Kraken,
Right.
And
How to harvest it.
yeah.
Yep.
You also know that Kraken blood discourages sharks and other scavengers. Well,
Mhm.
predators.
Right,
Like the scavengers will get in there eventually, but
Yeah.
sharks and other sort of meat eaters are not interested in Kraken blood for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, the meat isn't poisonous. It's actually good, but
It
Game, respect, game.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Even the fact that it's dead, like that shark's not coming back.
yeah.
He's gonna tell everyone else, like, no,
Mm.
it's you don't want that.
Mm-hmm. I think a part of Wall kind of feels similar. Like, he was never big into Kraken hunts. He
Yeah.
was more into, like, if you have to fight it the right way and get out,
Yeah.
but it's
Escape.
not for sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Wall is grieving a bit about Doc, but I think a part of him is also he identifies with the Kraken in a way. Like,
Yep.
the world is smaller because of what happened. This isn't a happy thing for Wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the area of like we don't want it to go to waste?
If it were up to Wall, we would leave.
Mm.
But Wall understands there is practical use.
Okay.
And if people want to do that, Wall will be willing to help do it the right way.
Okay.
But he's not going to offer it.
Okay.
Sal's definitely going to bring it up.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect.
Well,
While Danny's
Yeah.
still below, or are you gonna wait for Danny to come back first?
no, I think this is happening like pretty fast.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Before Danny comes back.
And I should say this like sarcophagus song, like I think it's gonna be at least an hour. You know, like
Mm.
coral. He could grow coral quickly if it doesn't have to be very strong.
Mm.
But this is a whole other thing and a
Right.
whole ritual and like
Right.
you know. So he's probably gonna be down there for a while. So you all got some time to figure out what you want to do.
Wall, we need ink, and I'm not leaving it for some other son of a bitch to come down here. Can you take care of it? Or do you need help?
I'll take care of it.
I know this is a big thing to ask. And if there's anything I can do, I hate making this
Sal,
request even.
if this was anyone else asking, this would be a problem. But you are family. You are blood. Consider it done.
It's also worth noting that the fact that you're here in the docks, there are loading cranes, and if you all hauled it out of the water, people aren't gonna like mob you and fight you for it. It'd just be like, oh shit, that's your catch. Like, you know, you would get credit for it, and no one would steal it. But that is one option. Like, if you don't want to cut it up underwater, you could haul it up and hire people to help dismantle it, but I don't know if Wall would be comfortable with that.
I think
so,
Wall would volunteer to do the initial carving
Yeah.
and sectioning, and then,
Yeah.
get some help bringing it up.
Yeah. Get like a trawler
Right.
or something to haul up the big piece. Because this is also like feed the town and like export and like
Right.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's a big
valuable.
payday. Yeah, for sure.
Because I think I have I've gone to the side so I can dip my hand in the water, like
Mhm.
below decks, like the back hatch or something,
Sure. Yeah.
and feel Danny's song as he's doing this.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's not so far removed from some of the rituals that you know. The whatever magic his people are familiar with, like they have a death song, and it sounds almost familiar, like that song that you can almost get the title of, but it's a noisy room, but yeah, it's hauntingly familiar.
I have kind of an idea. It might
Okay.
be a stretch.
Okay.
It if because I'm binding Doc into my service, and that was the choice I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, she chose that.
I would like to use some of the power of Danny's death song to, as part of that binding, like,
Oh,
in a way that it would still attach, like, she is still going to be, she wants to stay for him.
yeah.
So it creates, like, to help it create a tie from him to her.
Yeah. You know what? I'd like to say that means he will always be able to see her
Yes.
without you having to make her visible. I don't know if everyone will be able to see her all the time and hear her cussing, but, like, he
I think
will.
that's my, I think that's
That's your
my
burden to bear.
my burden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I want to, like, use that and create that tie between them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's not even that much of a stretch. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like we're going to collect, harvest the Kraken. We're going to bring the sarcophagus aboard, and once she's wrapped up in this, it seems like we don't have to go immediately to wherever their home is and drop her off, but eventually we need to go.
Right.
But is this a moment that we can montage a little bit, or is there anything else specific we want to handle in the moment?
I think
I'm
we
okay
can
with
montage.
montage,
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So then we've got, once people on the dock become aware of the hall, you've got, longshoremen coming out to help. You've got, everyone wants to, like, get in on, if only to, like, see a
Right.
mature Kraken. Like, it's interesting. And I think into dawn, the work is happening. It starts raining later on, but it's that, I don't want to say gentle rain, because it's vigorous, right? It's a lot of rain, but it's not blowing sideways. It's not thunder and lightning. It's just a good hard rain, the kind of rain that's going to wash blood off the docks and,
Steady.
Yeah.
Steady rain.
yeah. And then when the sun is coming up, there's a moment where the rain quits and it's still cloudy, and that we see the sun between the ocean and the clouds, and eventually the sun goes up behind the clouds. But there is this moment at Port Fiend where the crew of the Salamander are you've acquired a full ink sack.
Well, as far as the town knows right now, it's the Marigold.
Oh, the Marigold, yeah. The game doesn't really have, like, a sense of currency, but, like, there is wealth to be had in the hold. The restaurants, so everybody here will want something.
Spencer gets nothing.
That's fine. Maybe
We sell to every restaurant, but
maybe this is one of the things, rather than buffalo lasagna, cooking something like what the Kraken has available would be up to the chef at Last Call, might be skewer worthy, something like that. And your friend Fizzlecrank, Mr. Fizzlecrank, is eager to make the trade. If you still are, or are we taking the ink sack, or what?
The trade was for the mirror, right?
And the hat.
Mirror and hat and
the caboodle, right?
And well, no, the
Oh,
caboodle
right.
was the box.
Right, it was
Yeah.
the
We
mirror.
got that.
The mirror for that.
And then all of our next rings.
Does he come up to
Yes.
us in the dawn,
um
like asking about it?
I don't know.
Because I just feel like Third is so exhausted that he does not want to deal with any of this shit. He
Based
just wants
on
to go to sleep.
Based on the characterization you had, I don't think he would come to
I
us.
don't
Yeah.
think so.
No.
Yeah, that's what
think
I
that
was.
He would wait for us to show up because
Right.
that was the deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
goes from his shop and he like lives upstairs and like maybe goes out into the street to like
Right, or to the market
yell at
or
those
something.
damn kids.
Mm.
There is a cart that stops directly outside the door just for him.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, a food cart comes by like twice a day.
yeah.
He
The
just
like
buys it
tea
right
and
there.
dumplings cart to like
Yeah.
oh, ooh, God, now I want dumplings.
Dumplings, yeah.
God damn it.
Damn it, Jason.
Mm.
All right, after show. Anyway.
But yeah, it's definitely he doesn't wander around town.
Right. Sal does not go with you to make the trade.
Thor doesn't really seem all that interested in that trade anymore. Because the mirror just like corrected. I don't remember
Well,
exactly
it
what it did.
it lets you basically rewrite your makeup, and if you wanted to put on thicker makeup, like you could really like pretty thoroughly make just about any face you wanted.
It's like real life Photoshop.
Yeah,
I think he needs to sleep on it
Yeah.
first before he.
okay, that's fine. We can also just leave that for next session
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we'd get out to sea today, but that's okay.
We haven't slept in a very long time.
That is true.
Evandrases like sleep and baths.
Yes,
He
that is
desperately
true.
needs both. He's very sad that he doesn't have it right now.
I think the Giant's Compass continues the comp of the suite for another night, being the heroes who brought in a Kraken. I think there's this like vibe in town that's so different from what you all are feeling because you also just lost someone.
Yeah.
And killing a Kraken doesn't feel like a heroic feat. And, you know, there's this just like disconnect of the town is like, wow, the crew of the Marigold is awesome. Let's, you know, and they're like bringing you free stuff and just everyone's like, you did such a good thing for our town, like, yay. And it's for you all, it's a little discordant.
Yeah. Can't be happy about it.
Yeah. You know, Danny's not going back out to his suite. Like, he is just camped out in the hold with the sarcophagus at this point, kind of meditating, but also like sleeping and eating and just being next to the sarcophagus for a while. So that's worth noting.
I'm gonna request security at the Giant's Compass just while we sleep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because he doesn't trust that space.
Yeah.
Sal's not leaving the ship.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Wall stays on the ship with a vial of ink.
Okay.
Are you staying or are you coming?
No. We have a bed to jump on.
We
The
just
wall's
wanna
not going to
sleep
sleep
in
in
it. I just want to sleep.
Yes,
We'll-
but
we'll
like
jump on the
afterwards.
morning. Maybe. We'll see how I feel.
Maybe I'm going to wake you up by jumping on your bed.
I mean, there are
Yeah.
3 other very large beds in this suite.
Yes. You're very
Also,
sweet.
yeah.
Right.
Also, yes, that's an excellent point. Yep.
I'm just saying, like, the flip side to just like this balance of, like, you know, Iron Man Death Hand and healing.
Yeah.
Super
Oh.
serious thing, and now joy.
What-
And my joy is doing this thing that you taught me yesterday.
To me.
You.
I think we established Cortina can see all the ghosts, right?
I don't recall if we've talked about that.
I don't.
Okay.
think we have.
Well, in my mind, all cats can see ghosts.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to
Extrapolating,
me.
then yes, of course.
Because I was trying to decide if she's like, wait, where's Doc? You know, like, where's one of my people? But Doc is still here
Mm-hmm.
as far as she's concerned. And so it's a little, like, I think the vibe on the ship is weird for her. Because she's like, why is everybody sad? And she's like following Sal around everywhere. Like, just at their heels. Like, and getting in your way sometimes. Like, tripping over her. You know?
Cats know when you're upset.
Yeah.
They're empathic like that.
And she doesn't really, you know, when she's in kid form, she's learning some more words, but you could see, like, she's just watching you because you're upset, right? And she doesn't know how to communicate with you, really, so.
Sal's spending a lot of time on the masthead.
Okay.
A lot of time on the bow.
All right. Well, then she
Like
spends a lot
more-
of time curled up at their base.
Okay. So like more than usual, I
Sure.
would say for Sal.
Sure. I keep trying to think if she would show up at some point, and I think maybe she would just because there's a financial opportunity.
I honestly think that she probably shows up close to the beginning once the Kraken's hauled out of the
Yeah.
water and been like, wow, hey, good job. Is there any...
Yeah, I'd be
is
happy
there-
to buy some of that off of
Right, is
you.
there
Or,
anything in it for me?
right.
Mm.
Just in a montage sense, is there any, like, is Sal open to that at all? Or
No, but I want to go back for a moment. Wasn't Ash was still connected to the ship, right? Ash wasn't 100%.
I don't know what you mean.
So like Sal is completely 100% independent from being away from the ship. Should the need arise. I
Right.
didn't think that Ash was. I thought that Ash was still
I think she met you in the water,
right.
right? And I think she can go like a few feet, like 10, 20 feet, but not like Sal. Like,
Okay.
but we could also say we haven't established that.
Okay. I was
So-
just in my head canon that was like a at the very least it was because of her cover
Right.
that she wouldn't want to be fully autonomous because she's still playing the AI of the ship
Yeah.
sort of thing.
The way I pictured her approaching Sal is under the dock, and sort of like knocking on the hull for you
Okay.
to come down and talk to her. Because yeah, she also doesn't want to be seen talking to you. So is there any conversation there, or
It's basically going to go like do what you want. Sal doesn't care.
okay?
Right now, Sal is processing being hurt in a way that they've never been hurt before.
Sure.
And they're also processing the death of one of their family
Mhm.
and couldn't really care less about this sort of thing right now, especially since Sal doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Although, out of character, if anyone wants to save some Kraken meat or some Kraken oil, I'm happy to play with that later.
I assume you all have some like reasonable amount that you've kept and a bunch of currency that the town basically bought it off of you
Right.
because
Yeah.
it would take a town's worth of
Right.
collective income, and probably also the town going like, and we will get the queen to reimburse us here, like, and that's what it's worth, really. Like the queen would need to reimburse them.
But Sal's attitude is fine, whatever.
Okay.
Do what you want. He's not in. I'm sorry, they're not interested in engaging.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think Ash.
I don't know how well she reads the room.
No. I think actually she can read the room. She just doesn't care.
Right.
That you're upset. And,
I get the here's how I picture the scene going.
Sure.
I picture her coming up, talking to Sal, and saying, hey, blah blah blah.
Can I buy
like,
some of this off you?
sidling
Like,
in,
yeah.
like what's what can I get out of this? And I would just say, whatever you want, I don't care. And her being like, okay, and just being like,
yeah.
well, if he's not gonna haggle with me, then great. I'm just gonna take whatever I'm gonna take.
Yeah.
And they said it was okay.
Yeah, so I think we'll just have a little cutscene of her going to her captain on the ship and, taking credit for having secured an entire tentacle that they bring on board the galleon. And,
I wonder about this because, like, do you tell the rest of us that it's like, oh, I told Ash? Did you tell us about Ash? Did you say, like, I told her she could take whatever? Because the idea of us selling, like, an entire tentacle at this amazing price to a Rise ship is so absolutely against what the rest of us would do.
I think, I mean, she would certainly say, like, I came to an agreement with Sal, and
Yeah, I don't know her, and she is a rise ship.
yeah, okay.
Well, and to be fair, she would probably be doing this through intermediaries because the whole point was she didn't want to be seen away from the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
She would tell the captain, and a rise captain or lieutenant or whatever would show up
Would
and
show
say,
up and we're like, hey, we heard we could make you an offer, and we'd
right,
like one
it's
of the
been an
tentacles
arrangement
and-
between blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And they don't know that it's like an arrangement between, like, with Sal. They wouldn't say, like, with your ship.
now, the flip side of this, Pooja,
Mm-hmm.
or Lucky, I'll address you directly. The shriveled up tentacle by itself doesn't look that notably shriveled, but it is, cursed is the wrong word, but
I
it
mean,
does
I think
carry shadow.
And rotten from the inside.
Yeah. So there is a path to make some money from Rise and sell them rotten goods.
I accept your offer.
Okay.
I like that. I like that middle ground
Okay.
because
Mm.
there is no part of me that wouldn't want to stick it to them.
Yeah.
Like,
And you let them believe they've paid this ridiculous price because you're all drunk on success. You're like, sure, take it for that. That's fine. Does that make sense? Does that fit for everyone? Okay. Great. Yeah, so you make sure to secure the somewhat shriveled tentacle for them. And that little side story is also set.
Yeah, and I think that Sal would 100% agree with you, except that they're wallowing. I
yeah.
guess, for lack of a better word.
No, I mean, you're rocked, and
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. I was just like, okay, the flip side to you being in that state is like, is that, okay, they're going to try to take advantage, but the rest of us are here and not necessarily wallowing.
Yeah.
Right. No, I Sal will eventually appreciate it, and I appreciate you looking out for the ship
I mean,
and
mostly
for us,
just
and
really
to stick it to them, because
Yeah.
just really
fuck Rise.
yeah.
Yep. Something else I need to establish is the group trading the ink sack. Is that a scene we need to have? Can we
I think we can montage
just sort of
that.
say
too.
that happened and Fizzle Crank made the trade and agrees to do your tattoos when the moon is right, and you come back and
Yeah.
Was there anything
He'll
else
do
that
it.
you wanted the ink for?
Wall has
a small vial
a
of it.
vial of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think as long as the group agrees that that's who we're selling it to, then we can just kind of hand wave and go see him in the morning.
I think I'll need to take the same amount, like a small file,
Sure.
in order to write my
After action
official-
report.
Yeah.
No, I need to write basically the contract with Doc,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I think there's no way to do that without Kraken ink
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
or blood.
That feels right. And yeah, she doesn't have blood anymore, so
Mm-hmm. I think on my side it has to be blood, and on her side it's the Kraken ink.
yeah. I like that. Okay, so let's say we've made that trade with Fizzlecrank. We've got this stuff, and what I'm trying to see is whether I can montage us out to sea,
Mm.
and then we'll be able to pick up next time.
Just one thing I want to do. Does the crew know Doc's real name? Or did we always refer to her as Doc?
As far as I know, we've only ever called her Doc.
Okay. All right.
I feel like maybe Lucky now knows because of the death song.
Mm.
Danny
Yeah.
wouldn't have called her Doc,
Mm.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Lucky shares the rest that
yeah.
information.
Danny
with
calls
us.
her Mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but if Danny was doing like a formal,
Sure,
I
yeah.
can sign you to the
Mhm.
deep, and like
Mm.
you would use a regular name.
Mm.
Yeah, my notes here just say
Right.
Doc.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wall administers to himself a tattoo. It is whatever name we decide Doc had,
Okay.
and we just see the tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, Danny doesn't mind sharing that
Yeah.
name, so that's
Yeah.
not the issue.
Yeah, we see the tattoo blend and fade into the rest of Wall's tattoos, and I want to plant the seed that the reason why Wall is so tatted up is not just because he's spent 30 years at sea. These are names of people that he's lost,
Yeah.
and he's lost the kingdom.
Yeah. Names of the Fallen. That's intense. I love it, though.
I got one thing.
Yep.
So I think after the trade and stuff, like he still seems very tired. And he's walking behind the group and he pauses and he turns and he looks up at the cliff at 10th. And he just says, "This place is cursed." And then he turns and heads to the ship.
Okay. All right. Then I think that the credits are the ship sailing away from Port Fiend. We'll decide next time whether you're inspecting the thin places or we're headed back to Creektown and Spire.
And investigating the cult.
That's what's at Creektown
yeah,
and Spire, yeah. So, there is still some wiggle room on time. You don't have to decide to do one before the other at this point, but that is where we're headed.
Also, Wall's twin brother shows up, and he has no tattoos.
Oh, God. So
This won't be hard to tell you apart.
true. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for episode 8 of the Castoffs. As I mentioned before, you could go to happyjacks.org/castoffs to catch up on previous episodes. We've got a YouTube playlist. We've got a podcast stream. All that stuff. However you want to watch or listen is up to you. We are here every Saturday, except for the Saturdays where we're not, from 6 to 9 p.m. And you can join us live on Twitch or later on YouTube or podcast. So I hope you will join us one way or the other. You just can't join us before we air. That's a rule of time and physics. So,
I'm
Nick?
so emotional. No. I'm so emotionally invested in this episode. I'm not even going to argue with you this time.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us who you are and what you've done?
Well, why don't I unmute myself
Oh,
first because
okay.
I was typing and I didn't want that to go out. Hey everyone, I am Nick. I played Sal today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed me or jokes I made or whatnot, you can follow me at Sungrowler, like it says down here. You can follow me on Twitter and also on Instagram, but don't follow me on Instagram because I never post anything there, except when it gets cross-posted from Facebook. That's it.
Hello, I am Pooja, and you can find me on Twitter at LADesigirl. That's LADESI girl, and pretty much all the other socials is Forgotten Saves. If you want to hear more TTRPGs, I am on the 12-Sided Stories podcast, and soon to be another as yet unannounced project
Ooh.
Very
that
exciting.
I am very excited about.
And we should watch your Twitter for updates?
Yes.
Okay, done.
Why don't you go ahead?
Also
Because I
for
said I
cat
was going to
photos.
tell a story.
Okay.
Cat photos.
I'm Joe, and I played Wall. You can find me at Joe Loves Stories. You know what? I'll start checking messages.
Wow.
I'll start checking messages. I'll start checking my Twitter. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
real blessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
Courtney?
Yeah, I let Joe go before me because I said that I was going to share a story.
Oh,
A post show. Anyway, I'm Courtney Craft. You can find me on Twitter at the Anime Goddess. That's where I like to talk about stuff. So, fun I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it was something to do with dice, I guess. Maybe lucky dice or unlucky.
Oh, right.
Rolling with disadvantage.
Rolling with yeah. So, for those of you who don't know this about me, I worked on this little, like, tiny podunk production called Critical Role. You probably have never heard of it.
I don't know her.
Anyway, so there's this guy named Will Wheaton, I think,
Oh.
who is known for having just
Is he
cursed.
new in the scene?
I think so.
Yeah?
probably.
Okay.
But he got this reputation that like any die he touched was just cursed and awful and evil. And one day, Carrie Payton was a guest on the show, and he had Will's die in a little sandwich bag. His cursed die. And he was handling it with like blue medical gloves. And so at the end of the episode, we all went into the kitchen and Carrie decided that he was going to smash this die with a hammer.
Sure.
And so he did, and one of the shards hit me right in the crotch. I'm just like, my sex life is doomed. I luckily have gotten laid since.
I was
but,
going to say it. She never
but
had sex
I
again.
haven't had a relationship since.
Oh.
So clearly my love life is doomed from this
Oh,
die
I'm so
hitting
sorry.
me. So I need like a super lucky die to now hit me in the crotch. And then maybe I'll find a husband.
Oh
Joe,
my
you have
god.
a super lucky die.
Yeah, send me to Courtney Craft, Kara,
Tweet it at.
Jack's RPG, P.O. Box.
If you've got a lucky die, you might be a lucky guy.
Oh.
Hey.
That's a good line.
Take
All right.
us out, Jason.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
that was quick.